state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. These ODA member dentists are bound by the highest ethical standards and have access to superior ongoing education, training, and resources. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
Tune in to the Keith Fire Show, Mondays at noon on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM, or WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
You son of a... Oh. Hello? Is this on? Oh. Wow. I got the dump button ready. That thing's hot. Holy moly. Welcome. Every broadcaster's worst nightmare happened last night. Yeah, buddy. How about that? Thom Brennaman suspended by the Cincinnati Reds, and we'll get into that coming up just around the corner. It's unfortunate. Marty Brennaman's farewell tour a year ago was one of the most memorable farewell tours out there, and what might be Thom Brennaman's farewell tour, very memorable just for all the wrong reasons, and we'll get into that coming up around the corner. Hey, guess what? The Big Ten. Did you know that they canceled the college football season for the Big Ten, or postponed again? Again. And parents still not happy again, and they continue writing letters, and I love the passion, Kev. I love all the energy. I love all the smoke. I mean, whatever you want to call it. It's all fine, and I just don't know what they think the end game is going to be, and I don't know what can, outside of bringing the season back, I don't know really what else can happen to keep parents, to get people to feel good about this again. I have a feeling that even if the SEC and everyone else pulls the plug, which I do think I've been adamant from day one. I'm like, the reason I'm not freaking out about the Big Ten pulling the plug on the season is because the only difference between them and everyone else is they did it first. Right. I mean, them and the Pac-12. There's going to be no college football season. If they kick off and everyone's like, oh, I thought you said it was okay, so I'm wrong. But again, I really don't think it's that far-fetched to believe that I'm not going to waste my time with this negative energy about the Big Ten pulling the plug during a pandemic when, look, the ACC, everyone else trying to play. Notre Dame has a huge outbreak on their campus. Five Notre Dame football players today tested positive. 6 of them are in quarantine. I mean, look, that's going to happen during a pandemic, but keep in mind, everyone's more on alert now because 2 big Power 5 conferences have pulled the plug. I think when you see those things happen, I wouldn't be as alarmed by that if everyone was ready to roll. Right. But because 2 have already pulled due to the pandemic, and now you have Notre Dame having an outbreak on their campus, and now it has kind of bled into the team itself, that's where the concern's coming in.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you today, are people out there that aren't Big Ten fans? Like, okay, me, for instance, I love the Buckeyes, but I also follow Florida State. So, every day I go read the little reports on their little blog sites. Who's doing what guy's doing this? Who's trying to be the next starting offensive tackle and all that type of stuff. And I was reading it the other day. I was like, you know what? I'm truly wasting my time because this ain't going to happen. Like, people out there that are fans of Bama, Auburn, Texas, Oklahoma, if you're going to these blog sites, checking out the depth chart and seeing who's doing what, watching the interviews that the coaches are doing and the players are doing, you're wasting your time. And I realized that the other day because you know what? You're right. It ain't going to be no season.
And by the way, if there is, great. Like, if listeners think that they're going to get me by saying, oh, see, you were wrong, I'm like, yeah, and
egg on your face.
That's one of those things that if I'm wrong about, that's a great thing. I mean, so while you're ripping me because I said there'd be no season and then there's a season, that's fine. I'll be ignoring you because I'll be watching college football on Saturday. So I'm really not too worried about that happening. Again, Big Ten, they announced yesterday, we had Austin Ward from Letterman Row on the show yesterday, and there was a lot of uncertainty. And I know him and I talked even before going on the air that, hey, watch, we're going to have this conversation and watch, they're going to make the official announcement. I wasn't sure when the Big Ten was officially going to make their second announcement because they had already announced that they were pulling the plug on the season, and they have basically, they ghosted everybody. They kind of went off into the distance, and we haven't heard from them. Finally, they make a statement yesterday. Kevin Warren releases a letter or a press release, of course, saying that they will not revisit the decision to postpone fall sports, which again just ignited everyone else. See, this is why I don't like these scenarios right here, because everyone demands answers. They want answers. They want answers. No, you don't. You want to be told what you want to hear. You don't want answers. You don't want to hear why they pulled the plug on the season. You don't want to hear any justification for it, because you are always going to find, like, for instance, I knew this was going to happen. Kevin Warren cites medical expertise and medical decisions as to why they did not feel comfortable moving forward. They had 3 or 4 medical experts that all had various opinions on it. And then what do people say? Well, the SEC's medical experts said otherwise. Well, that's why this game is not fun anymore, because everyone, I mean, this, I'm not talking politics, but this reminds me of politics, where you 100%. Are screaming at a wall. You're never going to convince the other one about anything. It's like, well, your candidate, he's a horrible person because blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah? Well, did you see the report about your guy back in 19, blah, 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 blah. If your argument is that your guy is worse than my guy, but both are bad, then that's not a good argument to have as far as that goes. And that's kind of what I feel about here. Right now, we don't even know what we're arguing. We're just trying to, I mean, you don't have any medical expertise in that. Okay, well, we have 3 medical experts that back up our opinion. Well, the SEC has 5 medical experts that back up my medical opinion. This game, it's just never going to stop. That's why I'm not really getting too fired up about it. I'm listening to Sports Talk in Columbus and others, and they're so angry and passionate. And I'm not judging them for that. But keep in mind, I don't know what you just want to be not really media. I'm really talking about, I guess, the callers is what I'm talking about. Fans want to be told what they want to hear. So when everyone was like, oh, the Big Ten, Kevin Warren, he hasn't said anything. They need to address they need to have a press conference. No, they don't, because no matter what they say, it's not going to make you happy. And unless they came on that mic and said, all right, we're going to kick off coming up here in 3 weeks. That was the only thing that you were going to be satisfied with, people. So stop trying to act like I just wanted reason. Just tell me a reason. I can handle this if you give me no. Right. You want the season, which I want too. But no, this is why I'm like, this is going nowhere. It's getting tiresome, to be honest with you. It's adding more stress to what is already a stressful situation.
It's very disappointing that we're not going to have Ohio State football, and it's going to be even more disappointing when they actually cancel all of college football. But something that I'll keep going back to is when the MAC canceled their season. Everybody was that Saturday, it's just the MAC. And boom, just like that, the Big Ten canceled their season. But what people have to realize with the MAC is the same medical experts that are in the MAC, this region, this Midwest that we all live in, they're the same medical experts that the Big Ten uses. So their information is exactly the same. So whatever the MAC got, the Big Ten got. Now, you can say, like, well, the medical experts in the SEC in the South say otherwise. Okay, well, they're in a totally different region than we are. Just like California, their exposure to COVID-19 has been totally different from everything that's happening in the Midwest and in the South. That's why they canceled theirs. The exposure to the virus differs from region to region and how it's affecting the region and people. So that's what people have to realize is when the MAC canceled, you could kiss the Big Ten goodbye, and people just want to discredit it as the MAC, and they're not Power 5. They're not the big time. It don't matter. Well, guess what? Their doctor said it mattered, and they shut it down. And guess what? The Big Ten is big time. Their doctors said shut it down, and it shut down. Yeah. So which side is? And I guess to sum up, and again, we're not going to beat everyone's head with this Big Ten stuff for 3 hours today. We've spent a lot of time on it. I wanted to open up with it because the news came out last night after we got off the air. The Big Ten will not revisit talks of having a 2020 fall football season, which to me, it hurts, but it's one of those where, okay, now we can mentally move on. Right. Well, you don't have to like it. It's kind of like with March Madness. I think the worst part about that little 1 week stretch of conference tournaments in the NCAA tournament, it was just the everyday of, are we going to get to CUD in the tournament? Are we going to get to... Oh, no, they canceled it. Holy moly, this sucks. But it's like you're able to mentally start coping with it moving forward. And that's what is going to happen here. The problem is the difference is when the NCAA tournament got canceled, UD fans didn't have to watch a basketball tournament go on without their team. To where the Big Ten season, the plug is pulled, there is a chance that come here in about a month, they're going to be watching college football. The teams that they would be comparing Ohio State to will be playing. That's going to be the hard pill to swallow. Bottom line is this isn't going to be easy, but this isn't easy for Kevin Warren, and I'm not defending him because I tried making that clear on Twitter today. Someone was, again, annoyed that I was defending Kevin Warren. I'm like, I'm not defending
the deficiencies within the process of pulling the plug on the season. What I'm trying to understand is what the obsession is with people. What the obsession is that people have with his son playing in the SEC. What's his name? Mike Golick Jr., sorry. Him and I were tweeting back and forth and getting into it with people throughout the day about that same exact thing. And it's not going to stop. It's low-hanging fruit. It's something easy to make Kevin Warren a target, and we'll see. My big thing is when the SEC and others pull the plug, what's the reaction going to be like to them? That's going to be key. And will fans apologize? If the SEC and everyone pulls the plug for the same reasons that the Big Ten,
at least they tried.
At least they, which I'll give more credence to that argument than the arguments now about his son playing. If you're big, trust me, you're not losing sleep because his kid's playing in the SEC. It's just a bullet point that you're able to fire back at him at this point, as far as that goes. All right, you are listening to the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410. Wing AM. We are live on Facebook, so head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook, and you'll be able to watch the show as well as interact with the show by leaving your opinions and comments in the comment section below. Every time you comment, your name is automatically put into a pool where you could have a chance to win a $25 Skyline gift card. We will announce the winner tomorrow. The only winners, or the only way you can win, is by potentially commenting in the comment section. Again, we select winners from that pool, so make sure you're being active and taking advantage of the opportunity to interact with us here on the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. Also, we're on ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel and on Twitter at 1410 Kinner, Kinner. Give Kev a follow as well at one Kev Nash. We do have Reds baseball coming up later tonight. The Reds split with the Royals last night, and the Reds just nearly got no hits in game one of the doubleheader last night. And I figured they would look a little sloppy coming out. I mean, I think the Cardinals, one of the Cardinals pitchers in one of their first games back after missing 15 games due to the virus, I think one of their pitchers gave up like 4 straight home runs. I mean, the Cardinals looked rough coming back, and the Reds looked rough, but they were able to shake off that rust. They got shut out in game one, and then they turned around and shut out the Cardinals in the Royals in game two. We'll see if they could take that momentum with them here tonight against the Royals. That'll be a later first pitch, 8:15, and we have the lineups for you. David Bell, another weird lineup. I'm trying to be calm today. You got me to yell yesterday. You got me to with the NBA, so I'm trying to remain calm.
Are we talking NBA today?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the Lakers game tonight, and again, there's not a lot of Laker fans around here, but in essence of the
yes, there is.
Well,
the Lakers are one of the most storied franchises in basketball, and there are so many levels to this. You have, guys around Keith Byers' age who grew up loving Magic Johnson, watching him play. So then you got those fans that's still around that age demographic. Then you got guys older than him who watched Kareem and everything like that with the Lakers. Then you got guys my age that watch the Shaq and Kobe era. And then you got the LeBron stands like yourself. I mean, fans. My bad. I'm sorry. You have the LeBron fans. So the Laker fan base is strong. And so is the LeBron fan base. So everybody watches the Lakers. People watch the Lakers because they're fans. People watch the Lakers because they're LeBron fans. And then you got people that hate watch the Lakers. Then you got people that hate watch LeBron. It's prime time. It is prime time viewing, no matter who they're playing. It just so happens that they're playing one of my favorite players in the league. So I'm definitely
enjoy it. You get at least about 4 more games with him. At least. Dame time. It's late time, man. The fact that
that is Dame time.
9 o'clock games used to not bother me. It really didn't, because half the time, I used to be a night owl. I would stay up late. I can't stay up late anymore. I'm like, man, I'm only 30.
Dude,
I'm only 30. I can't do it. So I watched the entire game the other night.
Yeah.
And I felt like absolute crap the next day. And I'm it was only up to midnight, but I get up 5:30 or 6 every morning, whether I set an alarm or not, whether I get 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep or not. And I'm going to feel it tomorrow too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might as well drink. If I'm going to feel like crap the next day, it might as well be a hangover, not because I'm 30 and I can't stay up late anymore. Now you know what? I'm drinking tonight. And then tomorrow when I feel like crap, there's an excuse and not just me being old. How about that?
So I always struggle during the playoffs because obviously 9 o'clock tip-offs and everything like that. I'm good all the way up until halftime. I always get tired at halftime, and end up falling asleep on the couch. And I miss the second halves of every game. So basically, I save all that time for the NBA Finals for when it really counts to stay up late. But now that this is a bubble situation, we haven't had sports in so long, I'm locked into all the good games. So when the Lakers in Portland played the other night, halftime, I swept the floor, I mopped the floor, and I loaded the dishwasher to keep myself moving, to keep myself awake so I could watch the second half. So, boom, some pointers. But now I have to find another activity because I've already swept and mopped. So maybe I'll vacuum tonight at 10 o'clock.
Well, speaking of sweep, I call it a sweep. But the Lakers would sweep the the old Trailblazers. We'll get into that. Doug Morgan on Facebook. He says, are you seriously not going to bring up what Tom B said? Doug Morgan, I have a clock here in the studio, and we are on every day from 3 to 6. And by my calculations, we've been on the air for 15 minutes. I said we would get to that coming up. I still have 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, sir, yes, we're going to get to that. We'll get to that next, I promise. No, Doug, I agree. I know that's what everyone wants to talk about. Selfishly, I don't want to talk about it. I like Tom, and I'm not going to pretend to be buddy with Tom, but I've worked with Tom on more than one occasion. He's one of my favorite interviews. So, when you see these types of freak things happen across the country, you just anger and disgusted right away. Last night was anger and annoyance, but it was one of those where it just sucks. This is the first time something like this has happened where I've known the individual that has screwed up like this. So, Doug, that's why. Selfishly, I was putting it off and hoping a topic would take us elsewhere. But no, we're going to get to that. A year ago, Marty Brennaman had one of the most memorable farewell tours ever. It was emotional. It tugged on your heartstrings. Everyone loved it. And Thom Brennaman might have started his own farewell tour last night. And it's probably just as memorable, but unfortunately all for the wrong reasons. Thom Brennaman, suspended by the Reds. Your reaction? Will he be fired? Do you want him back? If he comes back, what will your reaction be? We'll get to all that coming up. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 82 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 57. And tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 86. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
The patio is open and Thirsty Thursday is in full effect at Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps. Every craft beer is just $5 a pint all day on Thirsty Thursday. Our Milano's summer menu features new subs, salad, and pizza choices too.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only, while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
It's a new season, and it's Sport Clips haircuts. All of our stylists are clean certified and guy smart. So come in and get yourself back in the game with our legendary MVP experience. It's a mancation with our hot steam towel, relaxing shampoo, and a winning cut. Check in online and walk out with confidence. Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy.
And you be stepping out like a pro. O'Reilly.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I hate Tom's Tulip Shop. It just smells so flowery. Like we're good at your flower shop. You don't need to remind us.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
I needed a fake plant. They don't sell fake plants. Thanks for nothing, Tom.
And while Progressive can save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Then he says, have a great day. I'll decide what kind of day to have.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Redbox has top entertainment with new movies and big hits. And now they're giving you a chance to win big money. Enter the Redbox 15K Summer Sweepstakes. Rent or buy any Sony movie now through August 24th, and you could win the $15,000 grand prize. Rent Jumanji: The Next Level, Little Women, Bad Boys for Life, and other Sony movies at redbox.com/15K sweeps. Make it a movie night, and you could win big with Redbox. No purchase necessary. Must be at least 18 years old and a U.S. resident. For official rules and to learn more, including how to enter for free via email, visit redbox.com/15K sweeps.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
Do you have an old sports program, baseball, photo, ticket, or game used equipment just collecting dust? Sports Investments wants to buy your sports memorabilia. They're also interested in old sports cards and also buying political, aviation, and entertainment items. Bring your collectibles to Sports Investments and get a fair value on the spot. If you decide to sell, they'll pay you immediately. Sports Investments is the largest buyer of memorabilia and cards in the area since 1993. Sports Investments also feature the best selection of autographed memorabilia, sports cards, and other collectible items for sale, including all your favorites like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, Billy Hamilton, FC Soccer, Andy Dalton and AJ Green of the Bengals, the Big Red Machine, UC Xavier, Kentucky, NKU, UD, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, just to name a few. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000 or email them, adam@sportsinvestments.com, or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from right here in Kettering.
You have empty office space to fill. You know what you need, and you know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places that what you need and what you'd like, that might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half price and below manufacturer suggested prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really. Desks from $50 to $5,000. File cabinets, $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Outlet. With 87,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. 2 locations. One at 23 McOil Street, Dayton. The other, Uniques Unlimited on South Dixie. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Saturday, 10 to 4.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brent Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, tell me when our mics are on. Are mics on?
They are on.
Oh,
Mics are
geez,
on.
you got to tell me. You can't say, oh, my goodness. All those mean things I'm saying during the break. Luckily, that's never happened. Oh, wait, it has. It has, unfortunately. Last night, Cincinnati Reds TV broadcaster Thom Brennaman, and how much longer he's the TV broadcaster, we don't know. Thom Brennaman last night, of course, and I didn't catch it. I was out golfing. Shocker. I was out golfing, and I checked Twitter at a certain point. I see that Thom Brennaman is trending. Now, there's a lot of reasons why I thought, Tom, what is going on? What is on my – hold up, one moment. I got to – There we go. That's what the problem was. All right. So Thom Brennaman, I checked Twitter. He's trending, and I'm trying to figure out why. I was like, okay, maybe he said Kyle Schwarber's name too many times, even though they're not playing the Cubs. I'm trying to think of all the reasons that people normally complain about Thom Brennaman, and nope. And then I'm like, oh man, that's the last thing I expected. Was of course it was a doubleheader yesterday, and usually in doubleheaders in seasons past, you'll play early in the day, and then play at noon or 1, and then you'll play later the night at 7. Well, of course the Reds do here in this 60 game shortened season, they're doing the 7-inning double headers, and they're just back to back. I mean, you have a little bit longer. You might have like a half hour, 45-minute break in between. And during one of those breaks, they came back. I don't want to say early, but either way, Thom Brennaman did not know that the mic was on. And this is not a justification or me making excuses. He just did not know that the mic was on. And he said, I can't say it, but he said, well, everyone's heard it. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, everyone that's right now on the feed right now that wants to hear what we have to say about it, you've heard it already. And it's very unfortunate. This is the first time where I've had to talk about this type of story with somebody that I know and like. And, it's difficult because you don't want to do the whole thing of, I can't stand when we do, though, he's a good person. Again, that should play a role in some of the fallout here. But at the same time, people weren't wondering if he was a good person or not, because the only thing people heard is what he said during that time. But of course, the Reds suspend him. It was announced that he's suspended today. And just like with this, I'm not comparing this to that, but like people are outraged that he's only suspended. They want him fired. And I'm just curious as to why do we hold, when media members make mistakes like this, do we hold them to a higher standard than when the athletes that we admire make mistakes to the point? I mean, how many professional athletes in domestic violence have we forgiven, like Joe Mixon and Kareem Hunt and others? And I'm using two guys from, not picking on them, but they're two guys on two rosters that we talk a lot about as far as the NFL is concerned. And it's like, okay, we overlook that stuff all the time, but there's just no way. He needs to be unemployed. He needs to be locked away. He should never see the light of day again. That's all the reaction on Twitter. Again, I'm reacting differently because, again, I know him and I like Tom, and I just feel bad that he's in this situation, but it sounds like I'm making excuses for him. So it's just word vomit. It's like my mouth is falling down the stairs right now as far as that's concerned. He deserves to be suspended. I do not think he should be fired. However, if he is fired, it is justifiable. For a network, it's going to be tough to continue. I mean, when you are not just the voice of a team, a radio voice, but when you're a TV voice, you're visual. You are visibly seen on a nightly basis, and baseball is every night. Yep. Every night. And it's really going to come down to sponsors, because if sponsors are going to threaten to back out, if Tom still works there, then he will be fired. If this is something that they can massage the relationships with sponsors, he will remain there. But last night, there's no excuse for it. And then, of course, I don't know why they let him apologize. They should have just cut him off. Honestly, that made it worse. I mean, I want to apologize for what I said last night. Deep, ball hit deep left center field, home run, and the Reds take a 3-0 lead. But no, I'm a great person. I'm a God-fearing person. Up next, Joey Votto stepping into the box. Joey Votto chokes up on the bat, swing and a miss, strike 2. But as I was saying, I'm so sorry. I will never say it again. And Joey Votto foul tips it back into the. It's like, come on now.
It was very awkward.
We talked earlier. True professional.
Yeah,
he's not professional for what he said, but true. He's going to call this game to the very end. I was like, holy moly. I don't know what we're not supposed to condone it, but I don't know how we're supposed to truly feel about this today. Anger. He said he did something wrong. He said it. They pulled him off the broadcast. He's suspended, could potentially be canned. What more do people want right now? Because even if they fire him, people are still not good enough. Well, what do people truly want from this situation? And I don't know when we'll see or hear from Tom again, but I think there's a good chance you could potentially see or hear Tom again with the Reds in the future. I just don't think it's going to be the rest of this season. I don't know. Who's to say? But I am curious people's thoughts on this, because how are people going to respond if Thom Brennaman's noggin appears again on Fox Sports Ohio calling Reds games?
For me, people have to understand this, and I know they'll just be like, oh, you guys just talk sports, and you talk about what's going on in pop culture, and you talk about radio stuff, Kev, and everything that's going on in the world. This is an extremely hard job. This is very tough, especially sports talk radio, especially, dealing, you and I, we look at each other for 3 hours a day. We differ on opinions all the time. When these mics come on, it is a switch inside of us that has to turn on from using foul language.
What the hell are you talking about?
When these mics go off, when we're in the hallway, when we're arguing about the exact same thing, other words are invoked in our conversations.
Just him.
Definitely not condoning anything he said, but it is very difficult. And any radio broadcaster out there worth his salt has slipped up and said a foul word on the air. If you haven't, you just haven't been in the game long enough. That is a fact. You will eventually say something that needs to be dumped on the air, or that you'll be called into the offices to talk to the bosses about. This is his turn. To the community that he offended, that would have been nice to hear out of the apology too, by the way. The apology was awkward. It was weird because like you said, he was still calling the game. Like that seemed like something they should have pulled him.
Or commercial break.
He did one a video later where he wasn't quote unquote distracted. But I'm not really about the whole cancel culture life. I'm really not about that because people expect celebrities to be perfect when they're not perfect. They're humans just like everybody else. Was it messed up? Of course. Was the tweet sent out by the Hornets announcer messed up? Absolutely.
It was Nuggets.
Yes.
By the way, we haven't even talked about that. In my head, I'm trying to figure out every way that your phone could accidentally check it to that. We could dissect that later, but continue.
But that's a whole nother ball of wax. I necessarily don't feel bad for him, but I understand when these mics are on, they're on and you're talking to a lot of people. Sometimes you and I talk about it and phone lines really aren't blowing up today. Not a hot topic, but best believe if we'd have said something wrong, a foul word that shouldn't be over the airwaves, those phone lines will light up. You never know who's truly listening to you until something goes wrong, man. And Thom Brennaman found out exactly how many people were watching, how many eyes were on him, and he's receiving a backlash, which he should. He have to believe he should be suspended. Do I believe he should be fired? No. Do I believe that the announcer from the Hornets should be fired? No, I don't think he should be fired. I think you definitely should be reprimanded, and you should pay the penalty, and that penalty being suspended without pay for X amount of days or weeks or months or whatever. Definitely going to be a price to pay, and that is going to follow you throughout the rest of your career for sure. But you have to make amends and not just apologize, but truly mean it, So, don't just give people the benefit of the doubt. Well, they apologize and let's just move on. No, you got to apologize and you got to do the work as well.
And let's be clear here, too. I think, and we're going to get to the phones in a second. I'm seeing the timeline fill up here in the comments section for Facebook. We're going to get to this reaction in a moment. 457-9464. If you want to call and get your spot in line reaction to last night, again, Thom Brennaman suspended by the Reds for an indefinite amount of time. We don't know when or if we will see Thom Brennaman with the Reds again. And, it's tough because you don't want to spend too much time talking about how unfortunate it is for Thom when Thom said something that offended so many, that was so offensive and just so I had to listen to it on repeat. Did he actually say that? I was trying to think of every word imaginable that he could have potentially been trying to say. You can't, there's no defense for it. You cannot defend it one little tiny bit. But 457-9464, phones are ringing now. That we'll get to those in a moment. But how will you react if Thom Brennaman returns as the TV voice of the Cincinnati Reds? I am curious how people are going to respond to that. Let's be clear, too. And I think that Thom Brennaman's an interesting fellow, too, because I think he's really, really, again, this has nothing to do with what he said last night. I'm just trying to clarify something here. Thom is really, really good at his job. I'm one of the bigger Thom fans out there. And maybe selfishly, because we know Thom, Kevin, you and I work with Thom every year, whether it's Red Fest, whether it's the Caravan or any other Reds and Wing events that we have going on. But Thom is a very polarizing figure in regards to, if you just based it off of social media reaction, which, by the way, you never go to social media to post anything
I try to tell
positive. You only go to social media if you have something bad to say about somebody. But if you only based it on social media, you would think Thom is the worst broadcaster in the history of the world. And when it comes, so having people say bad things about Thom on social media, it's not new. I see it every single night. I'm always scratching my head. I'm like, well, I think Tom's a fine broadcaster. I enjoy him calling football on Saturdays. So you already have a guy that sparks immediate reaction from people on social media. And now what Tom has done is people hated that he interviewed the Bird a year ago. People can't stand the way he says Kyle Schwarber 85 times throughout a broadcast when the Reds and Cubs play. It's those things that people can't stand. But what Thom Brennaman did last night, Kev, was he finally gave the haters something to grasp onto, and they will not let this go. And that's why, do I think he should be fired? No. Do I think he should have a lengthy suspension? Yes. I agree with you about the cancel culture. I don't think you're not teaching anybody anything with cancel culture at all. I think that, you got to give people a chance to rebound and to respond. And we're going to see how that's going to work moving forward. Tom did apologize on multiple occasions. Marty Brennaman was he was reached by the Inquirer, and he said what he said. And again, this is Marty Brennaman on Thom Brennaman. What he said is not a reflection of who Thom Brennaman is. And again, I know people hate those responses right away, but this is how Marty opens up. What he said is not a reflection of who Thom Brennaman is. I know that's not him, but I also feel terrible for the people that the comment offended. The worst feeling in the world, Marty goes on to say, the worst feeling in the world, if you're not on the air, is that you say something and you hear it coming back into your headset. Marty said, of course, him being a broadcaster for 46 years and a guy that has, Marty Brennaman, remember that time he was caught giving the middle finger. He leaned out the window, and I don't know, I forgot the story. He leaned out the window and he was giving the middle finger to someone across the, in another booth. And of course the cameras caught it and, people ran with it. Now it's not the same. That was kind of funny what he did when they caught him flipping the middle finger. Last night wasn't funny, but it's just one of those where when you do get caught or when you do slip up in the spot you should, it's not, especially in today's age, it's going nowhere. He's got to live with that for the rest of his life. Especially for that group of people, that word, is very hurtful. Yep. And it wasn't like he just said, oh, that's gay or something. And I'm not defending that because 10 years ago, everything was gay. Oh, that's gay. Oh man, no, you can't come out tonight. Oh, that's gay. And then what? Remember those dumb? Was it Miley Cyrus? Who was it that was in all those commercials? That was like it was a change and stop saying gay. Not stop using that word. Just in free conversation, it's an offensive word. Now, back then you hear people say it was no big deal. Now, when I hear it, if I hear someone say it or the word that Tom you cringe. 10 years ago, people didn't cringe at that. So last night was very straight. Like and your people are commenting right now. He just dropped it just so freely that you could tell that he uses it all the time. Maybe, but again, people, it's not like you're walking around just reading scripture all day and spitting out positivity all day. I just think that the Facebook, man. By the way, when he called the home run, the ball went over the, cleared the fence into the judgment-free zone. It was the Planet Fitness tarp that was over the seats. So the fact that as he's apologizing, the ball clears when he calls the home run, it goes into the judgment-free zone. You can't make it up. Let's go we're going to the phones. 457-9464. Let's go to Willie. Willie, let us off, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call.
Willie, great to hear from you.
I've been on a little hiatus with this COVID and everything, but
you been all right?
I've been good, man.
Okay.
I've just been staying out the way, working, just trying to be safe and you be responsible. So,
like to hear that.
Again, I don't agree with. I never will agree with cancel culture, but the point I want to make is a difference between making a mistake and getting caught saying something the way you really feel.
Fair. So a slip, there's a slip to your point, Willie. There's a slip up, like you were meant to say this word and this word came out, and then there is being caught using the word and the way you intended to use the word, and that's what Tom got caught with last night. You weren't trying to say a word that rhymed with it, and you accidentally slipped up and said it. You literally used the word in the tone, in the way you meant it, and the only difference is it went over the air when you didn't mean for that. That's not the mistake going over the air. That was someone else's mistake. That wasn't Tom's mistake. You know what I mean? Like that's what's strange about this.
Oh, absolutely. And in fairness to Tom, what I would say is we all have points in our life, even on an everyday basis, where if our employer were to look at our Facebook or Twitter page or hear some of our private conversations, I would say a large majority of society would be in the same boat. That's not making no excuse. But again, you still have to look at the human element of everything. And I don't hold nothing against somebody for making a mistake, or somebody can truly feel some way and be apologetic and learn a lesson in the situation. So I'm not for somebody losing their livelihood over an honest mistake or just getting caught with your pants down, basically.
No, absolutely, and that's going to be the key moving forward. The Reds did not fire him; they suspended him. I think what this is now moving forward is damage control. Can they save a lot of the relationships with current clients, and will this event lead to them losing sponsors and clients, and will it keep them from getting new sponsors and clients? If that's going to lead to that, they'll fire them. But if they can salvage some of those relationships, I think this will just be a lengthy suspension. That's going to be the next part of this.
Well, last but not least, I'm a diehard Redskins fan. I'll be till I die, and I'm just really, really upset with just this whole movement. I can't even watch the NBA anymore because it's just so everything is just so biased and dividing this country right now that it's like enough is enough.
In regards to it, so you don't like that the Washington team is changing their name?
Oh no! When they change their name, they no longer the team that I support. It's the same franchise, but it's a new beginning. I'm loyal to it's HTTR. It's held to the Redskins, not the Red Tails or the Red Wolves or the
team.
Warriors or none of that stuff. But again, just the culture that we're living in right now it's not America no more. And we got to be so sensitive and give out all these participation trophies. So it's annoying, basically, and it's designed to keep poor people arguing against each other while the elite stay and maintain power.
All right, well, Willie, good stuff, man. You came in swinging today.
All right, man. I really enjoyed the show, man.
I appreciate you.
Got me on early.
Take care. All right, 457-9464. He called in. He's honest on how he felt, and to some people, the name of that football team, it's we live in that world of and I've said this before. Just because something doesn't offend you doesn't mean it's not offensive. And I think a lot of just because it doesn't offend you does not mean that name of that team was not offensive. But
the name of that team, the old name of the team is a slur, just like the word that Marty used yesterday was a slur. And it's not up to us if you're a heterosexual person. It's up to the LGBT community to forgive Marty Brennaman for the word he used. It's not up to the average everyday person. It's up to the Native Americans of this country who this land was taken from, which we all live on, to feel offended from that nickname. Mm-hmm. It's a slur, and that's just plain and simple. It's a slur. Nobody wants to be called a slur. There's a million different slurs out there for every race in the world. And if someone's calling me one of those slurs or calling you one of the slurs, we're not going to like it. So why should we accept the fact that these group of people are being called a slur and just be cool with it? No, this should injustice to anybody is an injustice to everybody. So we should all feel offended when somebody calls another person a slur, no matter if you're that race or not.
All right, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio, 457-9464. The phone lines will remain open. We'll continue taking your calls. Charlie, you're a guy up next. We'll get to you in a second. Let's get to some of the Facebook reaction. Again, if Thom Brennaman, right now currently suspended by the Reds, not yet, he has yet to be fired. Being fired, I think it's a justifiable cause to be fired for. Do I believe he should be fired? I don't think he should be outright fired, but I know the business side of this in regards to if it's going to lead to failed, relationships with current clients, I do believe, or sponsors, yes, he probably will be moved. If they could salvage those relationships, it'll be a lengthy suspension as far as that's concerned. I'm not a big fan. Like, we forgive athletes who do things that are equally horrendous, if not worse at times. And I mean, the fact, we're going to sit here and say, well,
and politicians.
Yeah, Thom said something last night that he should never, ever pick up a headset again. But they're going to on Sundays, come NFL season, go cheer Joe Mixon, or they're going to go cheer Kareem Hunt. That's where I kind of get like, okay, we got to stop with this. Like when someone screws up, we got to make sure that their entire life is just taken away from them. Well, that's a very aggressive take to have, but you see what I'm saying as far as that's concerned. Reaction to Thom Brennaman last night. What will your reaction be if he returns as a TV voice of the Cincinnati Reds? Scott Campbell on Facebook says, if Tom is on TV, I won't watch. I'd rather hear Tommy and the Cowboy, Tommy Thrall, on the radio. So we'll have more of this reaction on Facebook as well as more of your calls. When we come back, Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's BABBEL.com.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
It's Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. Take an extra 20% off. Save on Vans shoes for the family, $59.99 and under. Women's Sonoma tees are just $6.39. And get up to 50% off Croft and Barrow bed sheets. Plus, save on your back-to-school purchase. Plus, fast and free store pickup. And get a little more for your wallet with Kohl's Cash. Shop Kohl's and Kohl's.com.
Select styles. Offers valid August 20th through August 23rd. 20% off with promo code Family Shop. 10 off 50 with promo code BTS10. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Indeed knows you've got big goals for your business, and we understand hiring is a crucial part of that. You need to hire people who will make a real impact. Indeed can help you find those important hires faster while paying only for what you need without any long-term contracts, thanks to our super flexible payment options. Start finding your important hire today with a free $75 credit for your first job post and get in front of more quality candidates. Go to Indeed.com/high impact. That's Indeed.com/high impact. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Tope. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Save big money on your next project with 11% off everything at Menards. For a beautiful deck you'll love for years, use Cabot Premium Exterior Wood Stains and Finishes. It's guaranteed to bring out the natural beauty of your wood projects. Right now, all Cabot Wood Care products are 11% off. Start saving today with 11% off everything. Prices are good until August 22nd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 special financial relief assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
After having been restricted in order to preserve PPE for hospitals, many dental offices are now reopening. That's a good thing because regular dental care ensures that we have good oral health and good overall health. As dentists reopen their offices, you may notice some changes. Your dental office may take your temperature and ask a series of questions related to your health. You may be asked to wait in your car until the dental office is ready for you. You may notice your dentist and staff wearing a different type of face mask or face shield when providing care. All of these changes and more are designed to ensure dental patients are protected. When you make your appointment, ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know that you're being treated by the very best. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. These ODA member dentists are bound by the highest ethical standards and have access to superior ongoing education, training, and resources. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on a Thursday, 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We opened up, of course, Kevin Warren in the Big Ten. They pull the plug on the season again for the second time. Of course, there was a tremendous outcry, and there was a huge effort that was, being put forth to try and maybe reverse the decision or to pressure Kevin Warren into doing that. But him and the Big Ten come out and say that they will not revisit the conversation or the idea to bring the season back. And we feel like we've been spending so much time on that as of late, and rightfully so. I mean, it's one of, if not the biggest sports topic out there right now. But right now we're stepping away from that unless something new comes out of that. Right. I mean, nothing's changing. Parents are continuing to write letters. Fans are continuing to head, to the headquarters in Illinois. I respect your efforts, but at this point, you may not be willing to move on, but we have no choice but to move on from it, and that's where we're at. And spending some time now talking about last night's Reds game, and it was an awesome game, but unfortunately, we're not really talking about the game, at least game 2, when they shut out the Royals. We have more from that game coming up in a bit. I'm going to talk about the hypocrisy that people have when it comes to OBJ and Trevor Bauer. We'll get to that coming up around the moment. That's so unnecessary. So unnecessary. Reaction. Thom Brennaman last night. Again, the Reds suspend Thom Brennaman for, of course, some comments he made during a commercial break in which he thought that the mics were off, and we are taught that the mics are never off. When they're off, they're still not off. You got to be careful. Mm-hmm. That is, it is what it is. Now, to someone's point earlier, that okay, there's a there's a difference between making a mistake and getting caught. And unfortunately for Thom last night, Thom got caught. Right. What I mean is, and I'm not going here with the N-word, but if there is a word that rhymes with the N-word, and you accidentally, instead of saying the word, you actually say the N-word that rhymes with somehow, I'm not saying it's okay, but at least there's a justification for it. Last night, there was no rhyming word that he was aiming for. He used the word in its straight up. Nope. Yeah. He got caught. He got caught. What?
Your analogies are
they're all over right now. He got caught, and there's no way around it. It wasn't a mix-up. He didn't slip up and use the wrong word. He just got caught using the word, and it's right context for him, and it is what it is. But point is he's suspended, and I think right now they're trying to weigh the options of firing versus a long-term suspension at this point. And I'm curious, people were outraged on Twitter. But is that outrage going to carry over 2, 3, or 4 months from now if Tom's still calling games? Are you going to tune in? Are you going to say, no, as long as Tom's on the call, I refuse to watch or listen? Because fans always are the first to outcry and have anger and blah, blah, blah. But again, when it comes time to, games resuming or careers resuming, we overlook it. I mean, we see it in the NFL, we see it in the NBA, we see it in Major League Baseball with the players and everything. When it's the flavor of that moment to be upset about something that someone did or said, we're all over it, but then we kind of forget about it, and then we'll always remember them for what they said or did, and then their career moves on and we all move on. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's going to be the case with Tom. Let's go back to the top here with reaction. David Shaw says, I like him broadcasting the Reds better than Jim Day or Chris Welch. I don't know what that necessarily has to do with that. Scott says, if Tom is on TV, I will not watch. I'd rather hear Tommy and the Cowboy on the radio. We've talked about that. Ron Moreland says, I hope they don't fire him, but this is crazy. I think it was something between him and someone there. Okay, so there's that. I mean, Doug Morgan says that it's sad. Yes, I mean, I'm going through all of these as far as the reaction is concerned. David says he was sorry that it went over the radio, not exactly for saying it. I think he could be both. I think he's sorry that he said it, but I think he's only sorry because he said it because he got caught. I think both could be true as far as that's concerned. And people, this is why, like, press conferences and apologizing, you just shouldn't do any of it because people are still going to nitpick you. You made the mistake. You should just not even respond to the mistake you made publicly because all people are going to do is just critique it. He apologized last night. People said, see, he's only sorry to his bosses. Well, you listen to that part of the apology where he acknowledged his bosses. Keep in mind, in this business, anyone that cracks a mic, you're an extension of your company or an extension of your bosses and coworkers. So when you make a mistake and say something like that, you've not only embarrassed yourself, but you embarrass them. His bosses are embarrassed.
Right.
The Reds are embarrassed. So when Tom apologized last night to them, yeah, he felt bad that he embarrassed them. He also acknowledged that he felt bad to the people he offended. He acknowledged that right away. So I don't know why we have to do this thing where we just literally dissect the apology. We spent more time. I've seen more people on Twitter dissect the apology than actually respond to what he initially said, as far as that's concerned.
You know how I am about apologies. I'm all for apologies. You can apologize, but you also have to do the work. And we, as the people, should hold people that say they're going to do the work, hold them accountable. We have to hold our politicians accountable for the things that they say they're going to do. We have to hold companies that said that we're going to be all about moving this country forward, supporting Black Lives Matter with statements and everything like that. We have to hold them accountable for those words that they said they were going to do. And we're going to have to hold Thom Brennaman accountable for what he said he was going to do moving forward. It's all about accountability. You can apologize. Fine. That's cool. But let's do the work as well.
David says, would he even have apologized for saying it if it never went over the air TV? No. Because he wouldn't just come out and said, hey, guess what I said last night, guys? I want to apologize. I want to tattle on myself. No, I agree with David as far as that's concerned. But, again, I'm not justifying anything that Tom said last night, but I always just laugh at the holier than thou responses to tearing people down who make these mistakes because, it's just one of those, like, people try to say, someone on here, I got to find it, said, he should, those aren't conversations you have at work. Well, what does that even mean? So you could say homophobic stuff at home, but man, keep that, if it's a racial thing, you could be racist at home, but my goodness, when you step in between the work lines, that's where you got to leave. You got to keep your racist hat at home. Is where, like, I don't know what that even means. Let's go back to the phones. 457-9464. We got Charlie. Charlie, what's up, man? Thanks for holding.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Hey, to me, I was thinking about it, trying to figure it all out. And, people get busted for DUIs every day. But how many times have they went to the bar and gotten drunk and drove home and never got caught? You know what I mean? How many times has Thom Brennaman said stuff like that, that wasn't on air, and now he got caught? Okay? He wasn't at some restaurant and somebody heard him. He was at work. So, I mean, whatever happens to him, he deserves it.
What are you warming up? You're warming up some pizza rolls. what? I hear the microwave in the background.
I'm dropping a trailer. Sorry.
Oh, maybe I'm just hungry. I'm thinking I'm hearing microwaves or something in the background.
Justin, me and you are soul brothers like that. There's certain sounds and symbols and things. It's just all food related.
That is true. That is very true.
I can't help it. Roseanne used to do a thing about you can tell when you're getting directions by somebody who's got a food addiction because.
Did you just say Roseanne? Of all the days we're having this conversation, you're going to use Roseanne?
But she had one of the best bits of all time because she says you give directions by restaurants. Like you go up to the McDonald's, turn left.
That's very true.
Go to the Taco Bell, take a right. But anyway, you can't defend. No one can defend Thom Brennaman. You can't. I mean, it's just like getting drunk and getting in your car and the cop stops you and now you got a DUI. You may not be an alcoholic. Maybe Thom Brennaman don't always talk like that. We don't know. But he did, and it was on air, and he was at work. So now he's caught. Now he's going to get in trouble. The thing that I had the biggest issue with, what in the world apology was that? What are you doing?
Well, and that's where I disagree. I don't know what was wrong. What was wrong with the apology? That's where
he called the home run during his apology.
But like, why are people offended by that? Did that take away from the sincerity of the apology? I mean, it made it humorous. I'm not going to lie.
I've never heard in my life.
I don't know. I disagree. But again, I'm wanting to see it differently because I worked with Thom, and I think I'm admitting, I'm hoping I'm not falling in that trap, but maybe I am, where I'm wanting to see it differently. So fans who don't know him will see it
was
differently.
Definitely awkward.
It was awkward. Why would they tell him, the producer, whoever's running that broadcast said, Thom, why don't you go ahead and apologize before we yank you out of here in the middle of gameplay? I mean, I don't know. I thought it was humorous. It made for a humorous moment in a time that didn't need humor. But I don't think it took away from the sincerity of the apology per se. And I still think if there was no game going on, we would have found something else to nitpick about the apology. But apologies always sound awkward because you're always rolling your eyes saying, oh, okay, yeah, right. You're only sorry because you got caught, yada, yada.
Well, I wanted to know what, like, because it sounded like it was either mid-conversation or something. I wanted to know what was happening.
No, it was awkward. It was a 30-second clip, and it was dead silence for the first 15 or 16, and then he just spouted that out like it was nothing. I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, is somebody? Maybe
talking to somebody in his ear.
Is Chris Welch? Is he saying something to him? Because Welch was silent for a long time too. I mean, I don't know. But then, and again, not mocking this, but he says that horrible thing, and then out of nowhere, Reds post-game live right here presented by, and I'm like, oh, that's horrible. This is just horrible. I mean, it's very unfortunate.
Well, so from my understanding, it's a quote from the movie Blazing Saddles is what I heard, which that doesn't dismiss it. Like if you're out at a restaurant, I don't know how Thom talks or doesn't talk. You guys know that. How people talk when they're not at work versus when they're at work. Like Kev was talking about that earlier. Like you guys might discuss things in the hallway that you don't discuss on air. You know what I mean?
I just share my favorite Bible verses. I have no clue what Kev says. What Kev says, but no, and someone brought up the Blazing Saddles thing, and saying that, okay, that's what he was referring to and maybe just trying to be a smartass about it. But again, context or no, I don't know if that makes it any better or not, but
it doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it better. I think that's why his apology was so insincere. Because in his mind, he's like, well, I was just saying a quote from a movie. The problem is, you said it on air. Seriously, it's some guy who gets stopped for a DUI, man. You're busted. Sorry. Maybe you stopped going to the bar and getting drunk. You've done it 1,000 times. Maybe he's made jokes like locker room talk, remember, that's always like that's how guys talk, But, you got to be professional at work. Kev, you guys know that. You don't do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know what sort of suspension or whatever, firing, whatever that's going to be. I don't know. I don't know how all that works. You were bringing up Joe Mixon. He served a punishment. His talent exceeded his troubles, so he got a job. And maybe that's what happens with Thom Brennaman. You know, maybe he gets suspended or fired, but then later he gets another job. I don't know, but you know, he's got it coming. You can't defend it. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, absolutely. And thanks so much for the call, man. Much appreciated. We're out of time in hour number 1. We'll get back into that coming up. More responses are coming. We'll get back to that coming up. But for you basketball fans out there, for you college basketball fans, Obi Toppin, Dayton Flyers, tonight we'll have a better idea of where Obi Toppin could potentially end up in the upcoming NBA draft. The NBA draft lottery is tonight, and we'll have a clearer picture of where Obi Toppin could potentially end up. We'll get to that when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's Danielle for CertaPro Painters. You know, I've used CertaPro Painters for pretty much everything that requires paint. And most recently, we had our entire house painted. And I mean the entire house. Gutters, shutters, windowsills, siding, and even the brick. Yes, everything. Talk about a phenomenal job. Exterior painting is the most effective way of boosting the curb appeal of your house. And our curb appeal, well, it went up to 100 plus. CertaPro painters really are amazing. They know how to get the job done right and paint a wide variety of surfaces, including stucco, vinyl siding, aluminum, brick, shutters, doors, windows, and trim. They do interior, exterior, residential, commercial, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in your local community. You can schedule your free estimate online right now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Check them out now and get the job done right. CertaPro Painters, proven and trusted experts in painting.
Just like your favorite hometown baseball team, your Enterprise Roofing team is all about protecting home. We've been locally owned and operated since 1926. So for high quality roofing repair and replacement services you can count on down the stretch, call 937-240-2206 or visit roofup.com today. Enterprise Roofing is a proud supporter of the Cincinnati Reds.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at the Mopar Service Center at your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership.
Fall is just around the corner. So are Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot, where you can save every day on everything, from mulch to power tools, new appliances to a fresh coat of paint. You can even shop and save right from the app and get convenient delivery right to your door. The only question is, what will you do next? Tackle more fall projects with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
I'm thinking of you. What kinder words could be more meaningful at a time like this? At First Florist and Greenhouses, we know everyone is coping the best they can. And when hugs are not possible, a kind word or gesture can bring comfort and a smile. So today, make that phone call or send a heartfelt note to someone you care about. And if you'd like to send a fresh bouquet of flowers, we can help with that. We're First Florist and Greenhouses at 1306 Troy Street in Dayton, a local family-owned business since 1905. And we're thinking of you.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls calls it drunk. You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says I'm a catch more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Reds are on the radio. Every hit, every strikeout, every home run.
It is gone into the second deck and left. A 2-run home run by Eugenio Suarez.
Cincinnati Reds baseball. Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds. 1410 ESPN Radio.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says I'm a catch more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER and ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle. WING 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
The heck did we just sing? The
bubble, baby.
Going on NBA playoffs right now. Contrary to what Kev thinks, right now we have the real best guard in basketball on TV right now, James Harden and the Houston Rockets, up 5.
The dribbler?
Paul and the dribbler, the scorer. Are you kidding me? Oof. Okay. Come on. Okay. Nope. No. Not doing it today.
You ready? I mean, I'm always ready for NBA talk. Always ready.
I'm one of those guys. Like I have to throw a temper tantrum.
I noticed that.
I have to try and not be a child.
You get very worked up about the NBA.
You either think like I do,
or you're wrong.
Or you get the hell out of here. How about that? Like, right? Yeah, exactly. Or you're wrong. Exactly. NBA draft lottery is tonight. Like, and this is always starting to get real weird now because, like, I mean, it's cool watching NBA right now, but it just feels weird. Like, the temperature is slightly dropping a little bit in the morning and in the evening now. I was golfing last night, got to a certain point on the course where like there was just a ton of leaves now. I'm like, man, the leaves are starting to fall off and change color. I'm like, what in the world? It's weird watching NBA right now at this time of year. Like I was waiting for that. I was waiting for like baseball right now. It doesn't feel weird watching baseball. It's normal. It looks weird because there's no fans in the stands.
Right.
But it is weird watching NBA basketball and watching it like what we are right now, like where they're playing all day. We'll never see that. I love this. You and I were talking about it. I love that. I mean, what they start at 1 and they're going until 9 o'clock tonight. I mean, midnight. I mean, basically by the time that damn game gets over with. Yeah. So I love it, but it is weird. Like, when you're outside, like, man, it feels weird that I'm saying I'm going home to watch an NBA game right now. As far as that's concerned. But so everything's getting a little weird because the draft lottery is tonight. I mean, right now the draft should have happened already. What is it? Almost September. In a month and a half, we should be talking about NBA players heading to camp, to training camp, to tip off the season at the end of October. Last year, or technically this season, because what we're watching is technically still this season, technically the 2019-2020 season, they tipped off on like October 28th. It was like the end of October. It was still, well into October. And they tipped off early. So here we are heading into a month and a half away from when next season should be technically starting. October 12th would technically be Game 7 of the NBA Finals. November 11th is technically when camp is supposed to get underway for next season, which is still strange to me. I don't get how any of that's going to work. But tonight, Kev, we'll have the NBA draft lottery. Now, we don't talk too much NBA draft lottery stuff or anything along those lines, but I'm more interested and invested this year because we have a player that we're going to be keeping an eye on that is not just going to be drafted, but he's an NBA lottery pick, and that's Obi Toppin from the Dayton Flyers. NBA mock draft, Jonathan Givony and Mike Schmitz put out their NBA mock draft yesterday for ESPN. If this is right here, the NBA draft order, which again, it could fluctuate. The Warriors 1, Cavs 2, Timberwolves 3, Hawks 4, Pistons 5, and Knicks 6. In their mock draft, if this was the draft order, they have Obi Toppin going to the Knicks. Now, we talked about this yesterday as far as that's concerned, of where we would prefer to see him. And by the way, we are live on Facebook. So when you're live on Facebook, you get to see the graphics and everything that we have within the show, and you can interact with us that way. We're going to be having trivia that we're going to be implementing here into the show starting tomorrow. So keep that in mind. But yes, the mock draft that you're seeing right now on the screen, if you're watching live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, Obi Toppin going number 6 to the New York Knicks. Now, we both have our preferences of where we would like to see him go. Obviously, I think the Warriors make a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. You have Klay Thompson, you have Steph Curry, you have Draymond Green, but they spread the floor. Opposing defenses are going to be so caught up on where those two shooters are, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and again, when they spread the floor like that, and there's so much defensive attention on those two, we've seen what kind of freak athlete Obi is in the open floor, and you're going to be seeing nightly highlights from Obi Toppin if he gets drafted by the Warriors. But the chances of Obi going number 1 overall are pretty slim.
Right.
So, again, the Warriors have the highest % chance of getting the number 1 overall pick tonight. It just stinks that for the Warriors in the NBA that imagine if this was the year imagine if last year was the year that the Warriors were that bad and they had a chance to get Zion Williamson or Ja Morant or something like that. You know how crazy that would have been? This year's draft is very weak. It's not that good. This draft doesn't have that Zion. This draft doesn't have that Anthony Davis. Yeah, so it's a bunch of really good players who I think are going to make impacts in the league for whatever team drafts them.
Especially for the Warriors. This draft has players at positions they already got locked and loaded. They don't need a point guard. They don't need a shooting guard. They got Steph and Klay. So they need like a piece as opposed to a franchise type of player. And those franchise players are guards, be it a LaMelo Ball or the kid from Georgia. So I don't even see, if Golden State gets the 1 pick, I don't even see them keeping it. I say they're going to trade it.
That would be intriguing. I mean, keep in mind, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo and they can't figure out a way to get a deal done for Giannis Antetokounmpo, look, the Warriors, keep in mind, they made no effort this most recently to try to replace Kevin Durant, because I think they knew, okay, we've been to the NBA Finals with this trio before.
Reset.
Do you expect to make the NBA Finals this year if everyone was healthy? Maybe, maybe not, but you're going to be competitive. Keep in mind that although you lost Kevin Durant, the league went from trio-centric to duo-centric. Yeah. And by the way, that's another reason why I think that we're expecting to see the Lakers dominate in the playoffs, and that's not going to happen because the teams are so much more even now. When you got duos versus duos, it's a lot different than when you had the trios versus duos. Because it's duos deluxe across the entire league.
I love it that way.
So do I. I thought that last offseason is really what made this season more intriguing as far as that's concerned, and the playoffs are proving to be that, but we'll get into that in a moment. But you're right, the Warriors, they didn't try to replace Kevin Durant to make an immediate big three, but they have the money and cap to do it. Now that they have the money to do it, and they also have a number 1 overall pick potentially, we'll find out later tonight. I agree with you. I don't think they use the pick. I don't think they draft with that pick. I think they use that pick to potentially maybe go knock on the Milwaukee Bucks door and say, okay, you're probably going to lose Giannis, so I'm going to do a sign and trade.
They don't win it. They don't win the championship this year. He's gone.
And I don't think they are. Again, I don't care about losing one right now in a 7-game series. That's the beauty of a 7-game series. But that's a good point. They could end up trading that away. But where could Obi Toppin end up? That's going to be the big question mark as far as that's concerned. And look, I don't think, anytime that you're being drafted high, sometimes it's a bad thing. Like, I feel bad for Obi Toppin, not from a financial standpoint, because he's going to be pretty set financially whenever his name is finally heard on draft night. But keep him, the Warriors, great. That's a great situation. But like you said, we don't really envision him going to the Warriors because we don't think the Warriors are going to draft anybody. They do have in this mock draft Anthony Edwards out of Georgia, the star guard, that really anyone that gets him is going to be in good shape. James Wiseman out of Memphis. We saw limited play from him last year because, of course, the battle against the NCAA and everything. LaMelo Ball. That's a risk, and you got to have an organization that's going to be able to take on the headache, being his dad, his father. But the Hawks, I would love to see him play with the Hawks, mainly because I'd love to see Obi Toppin play with Trae Young. Who knows what's going to happen as far as that's concerned, but they have Obi Toppin going number 6 overall to the New York Knicks. Ugh. And I don't see that. I just don't see how that's going to work. Steve Stetler on Facebook. And again, you can comment in the comment section. We'll be able to pull your opinions into the show. Steve says, I pray he doesn't go to the Knicks. Who would want to play there? Owner is the worst in the NBA. And it's a very valid point. We talk about that in all sports, where sometimes when you're the best in college, you get a reward by going to the worst situation sometimes. Like I've always said, sports is the weirdest thing when it comes to rewarding greatness in college. If you go to school to be a doctor and you are a kick-ass doctor in college, you're gonna be in line to get the best doctor jobs out there, some of the best hospitals in the world. When you're, you know what I mean? Like anything that you go to, if you're one hell of a teacher, you're going to get an opportunity to be, teach some of the best teachings or the best schools in the world. Mm-hmm. But when you're an athlete, the better you are, the worse situation you go to. Imagine if you're like an engineer or a doctor and you're the best in your field in college, and they say, okay, now we're going to reward you by sending you to the worst position possible. We're going to send you to a horrible neighborhood. We're going to send you to a low-paying place. All that. That's what the NBA and Major League Baseball and everyone does, is they take the best talent and say, hey, congratulations on all your hard work with all the talent you had at Ohio State, Alabama, wherever. Now you're going to be rewarded by going to some place that probably doesn't have any talent at all. That's always been strange to me. Yeah, it's a very weird model, but hey, it's how it's always been, and it's worked, and it is what it is. Obi Toppin, what's his ceiling? In your opinion, is he a star? Is he an all-star? I've said my player comp for him is Sean Marion.
That's not bad. Sean Marion was once an all-star. Like, I want to say Sean Marion was like a 3 or 4-time all-star.
Was he an all-star with the Mavericks? I know he was with the Phoenix Suns. Like, that's when his best seasons came with the Phoenix Suns, when they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, Bell and those guys. So I'm just, I don't know. I think Obi's going to be good in the NBA. I hear a lot of people say, he's going to be a star in the NBA. I don't know. Here's the deal. Maybe he's another Kawhi Leonard. Maybe he's another, you know what I mean? Like a Dame Lillard, a guy that comes from those smaller schools that no one's paying attention to. And then all of a sudden, boom, years into their career, they're one of the big hitters in the NBA. Maybe that's Obi. I don't know. I loved watching.
That's a great comp, though. That's a great comp for him, for Sean Marion. Sean Marion, 4-time All-Star, 2-time third-team NBA, and world champion with the Mavericks. So, if Obi gets that type of career, I think everybody will be happy.
Yeah, and again, I'm not it is what I just don't know how good he's going to be. Steve says on Facebook he's Penny Hardaway good.
Huh?
I maybe. Steve, why do you say, to be fair here? What, Steve?
Sorry,
No.
Sorry,
Steve. Steve, what about Obi's game? And I think we're laughing because I don't think their games look anything alike. Like, I'm not like laughing at Obi. Maybe Obi could develop the Penny Hardaway thing. I don't.
I mean, Penny Hardaway was a point guard.
That's not. Yeah.
Obi is a star of this era of positionless basketball, where he's a 5 sometimes, a 4 sometimes, a 3 sometimes, but a point guard. That's what Penny Hardaway was.
So Steve, to be fair, when we're being rude and laughing at you,
let's be fair. I was the only one laughing.
I guess where our question comes into play is, where do you see that comparison? So maybe tell us where you see that comparison, because again, not even the same position. They don't handle the ball the same at all. That's all. Obi's a star, but let me ask you this: if Obi scores the exact same amount of points, hits every take away the dunk out of his game, if he's not a walking highlight reel, but he's still the walking same amount of points per game, same amounts of rebounds, same amount of assists, same amount of gap of improvement from one year to the next, is he a lottery pick right now? I say no. I said the dunk is what, and again, this isn't a shot at Obi. I'm just saying, because he's a positionless player, and again, it's a positionless league right now. I mean, you're watching a lot of teams do that. I mean, the Lakers are the only ones right now that are trying to play that traditional big man setup. I mean, they said, hey, everyone else is going small, we're going big. So you want to try to win with your smalls? That's fine. How are you going to stop JaVale McGee and Anthony Davis? And they're going to continue to put out their 7-footers, which, by the way, Portland figured it out. So let's maybe try something different tonight. How about that?
But that's later. What was the question? I'm sorry. It got me thinking about the other game.
If you take the
dunk away,
everyone can dunk. I mean, he could still, let's say he could still dunk, but like the level of which he dunks.
Well, I think if you take away the dunking and his dunking ability, that means he's less athletic.
Fair.
And with his athleticism, that's why he's getting drafted. That's why he's going to be in the NBA, because he's a supreme athlete.
But everyone can dunk in the NBA,
but not like this. Not like he can. Not everybody can dunk like this. Like, there's a very few dudes in the NBA that can jump the way he can jump. Like, everybody can bang on somebody because they're skillful. But I mean, as great as a basketball player as Kevin Durant is, he ain't the athlete that Obi is. Like, it's skill and it's athleticism. We're hoping that Obi's athleticism, his skills will reach that one day. Now, if his skills reach the level of his athleticism, he'll be a Hall of Famer.
457-9464. By the way, we're live on Facebook and on ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. But go to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, jump in on this conversation about Obi Toppin. What is the ceiling for Obi Toppin? Again, we know how dominant he was in college. I mean, the fact that we did not get to see that on display on the big stage of the NCAA tournament, I mean, that's just beyond unfortunate. But again, the next big stage that we're going to see Obi on is on the NBA draft night, which is coming up in October. And then again, whenever the NBA season tips off for next season, I'm curious as far as that's concerned. He says Steve Stetler, Penny was drafted third, played guard and forward, and 4-time All-Star. So, Steve, that's why I wanted to ask to get clarity. So, in regards to those potential career milestones, as far as that's concerned, again, from the smaller school and that type of thing, I guess.
What about Kenyon Martin?
So that's I always said. I kept saying Marion. We got a lot of Kenyon Martins too. Kenyon Martins are a lot of comparisons as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, before Kmart broke his leg his last year at UC,
and there's a lot of crossover there too, because Cincinnati's season came to an abrupt halt because
they're about the same size.
Yeah. So I mean, again, this is why Trae Young and the Hawks they're so bad, because I think Kenyon Martin's game elevated because he played with Jason Kidd with the Nets. And I think that Obi Toppin, I'm not saying that he is super dependent in the league, but I do believe his best basketball is going to come if he has a feeder point guard, and Trae Young could be that guy. I love Trae Young. He's a facilitator. He's a scorer, but he's also a facilitator. And Kenyon Martin, I think, definitely benefited from playing with Jason Kidd, and I think Obi's going to need that same type of running mate within the NBA to be able to set him up.
I'm with you 100%. I think we've both been saying that for the longest time, that we want to see him on the Hawks. The Hawks have a lot lot of young talent on their roster. I mean, they got DeAndre Hunter, who was at Virginia, national championship there. They got Cam Reddish from Duke. They also got another high flyer, Jason Collins, obviously Trae Young. So they got a lot of talent down there. And they really pushed the tempo. You know, they were one of those teams that want to try to score in the 120s every single night. So they really kind of get it and go type of basketball. And that suits Obi to a T. I mean, of course, you want him to be a very skillful basketball player eventually. But, you know, right now, hey, let's work on catching this alley-oop and putting it in the basket. Let's work on just being a junkyard dog, getting some rebounds, putting it straight back up whenever Trae Young misses one of them 40-foot bombs. So you put Jason Collins, a high flyer, on one side, Obi, another high flyer on one side, Trae Young that can shoot lights out, Cam Reddish that can shoot, DeAndre Hunter, who's a big-time defensive player. I think they could be a team to be reckoned with.
It's going to be interesting and continuing to watch the development of Kostas Antetokounmpo too. We talked about this the other day. If Kostas keeps improving too, I mean, the fact that you could potentially over the next 10 years, every NBA season, get to tune in to watch a couple UD players run up and down the floor for you, that's going to be pretty dang cool. If Kostas continues to develop, even though Kostas I still think is being used as a chip right now to potentially land Giannis whenever that time comes. The Lakers, I mean, we know that family is super tight, super close. So we'll see if the Lakers, if they make a run at him. But again, if you have Anthony Davis, you don't want Anthony Davis and Antetokounmpo. I mean, again,
sure you do.
You'll find a way. John Collins, by the way.
Oh, okay.
John Collins. Sean Bolin, thank you. I'll give Sean a little love here on the page. John Collins. Come on, Kev. That's why you know what you got to do. You know what if you notice, I don't use first and last name. I just use
say last names.
I mean, it's an improvement from when I used to just say their numbers. 28. Number 28 on the Lakers. Come on now. You know who the hell I'm talking about. All right, good stuff there. We'll get more into this NBA draft lottery talk tonight, or tomorrow more. So once we have a better idea, I think once we see the draft lottery shape out, we'll have a good idea. And like the Warriors may not end up with that number 1 overall pick. I believe that you're right. If they get that number 1 overall pick, they probably trade it. If they get the 3rd or 4th pick, they probably keep it. You use a 3rd or 4th pick for a guy like an Obi, it makes a lot of sense. I just don't think that they're going to use that number 1 overall pick for Obi and the Edwards kid out of Georgia. I'm not saying you don't need him, but you're the Warriors, you don't need him.
Right.
You don't need LaMelo Ball. You don't need the kid from Georgia that I just talked about, and then you're not going to use the number 1 overall pick for Obi Toppin. Obi's not the number 1 overall pick, but again, we're talking to him in the lottery aspect, so I think we're good. Sean says, all love, fellas. So we're good. Actually, we need a fact checker from time to time. I think we'd have to hire somebody, and we can't afford that as far as
that's a no-no.
Sean, thanks, man. All right, more of the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash. When we come back, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about Trevor Bauer, the hypocrisy, why we judge OBJ for the watching games, but yet Trevor Bauer can wear stupid shirts and have stupid cleats, and everyone just drools over it. I can't stand it, but he is a good pitcher. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 82 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 57. And tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 86. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Champagne Dental, taking the fear out of dentistry.
Champagne Dental Group in Urbana knows how important it is for you to have a healthy, bright smile. We believe maintaining oral health is an integral aspect of your overall health. This is why we want to reward you for your regular checkups with our Forever Bright Teeth Whitening Program. Call today to set up an appointment and let us help make your smile bright. Champagne Dental Group in Urbana, 653-8650 and online at champagnedentalgroup.org.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks, and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com, where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Your state,
Hi, folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brant Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's BABBEL.com.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So the weather is just all over the place lately, right? One day it's hot, and the next day it's windy for a while. It's like, make up your mind already. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
The patio is open and Thirsty Thursday is in full effect at Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps. Every craft beer is just $5 a pint all day on Thirsty Thursday. Our Milano's summer menu features new subs, salad, and pizza choices too.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with our next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
Follow ESPN 1410 Wing AM on Facebook to watch The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Listen, stream, and now watch. It's The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Woo! These wings are spicy, I'm not going to lie.
Got that zing.
Shout out to Milano's, Larry Milano's.
Hey.
He just dropped off some barbecue chicken pizza. Dude, what sub is in there? Haven't even checked out the sub. This is perfect because I haven't even thought about dinner tonight. Now I got my dinner all lined up. But dude, these boneless wings are fantastic. This sweet chili or sweet heat. And
Don't forget to share.
I'm out of water. I shared.
shared.
Damn it, drop that. Okay, we're good. My mouth is on fire right now. I don't even care if this is bad radio. I'm taking a drink, folks. Give me a break. Oh, look at that. James Harden, baby.
6 points, 2 of 8.
Look at that. Look at those 5 assists, though. James Harden taking that LeBron James approach. Share the rock. How about that? We're live on Facebook. Head to Facebook, search The Justin Kinner Show. Hang out with us each day from 3 to 6 p.m. Kevin and I hanging out with you each and every day where you can watch. You can, again, listen, stream, watch. You can listen to us live on 1410 Wing AM. Stream us at wingam.com or watch us live on Facebook. Search The Justin Kinner Show. Give the show a like, a follow. And tune in every day. By the way, of course, we have different gift cards and giveaways that we give out to those who interact in the comment section beneath. Again, we're trying to pay you to be our friends, so there's that. Take advantage of that. Okay, Kev. We opened up the show talking about
Got one more thing. One more. What about Amari Stoudemire?
Oh, for the player
for
comp,
Obi.
For the Obi comp, and yeah. By the way, we were talking about Obi Toppin. Tonight's the NBA draft lottery. And it's pretty good. It was Tyler Nagy, by the way, Coach Nagy's son. He commented on the show page the other day because I put out this mock draft. And again, if you're watching live on Facebook, of course, now this isn't moving. There we go. Now we got some movement. If you're watching live on Facebook, you could see the NBA mock draft, the most recent one from ESPN's Jonathan Givony that just put this out. And it's interesting because they have Obi Toppin going number 6 to the Knicks. But Tyler Nagy brought up a good point. He says, these mock drafts are stupid. Like the NFL, when the mock drafts start coming out, the draft order. The way too early mock drafts are really dumb right now. I don't even follow those. But the NFL draft is set because it just goes worst record on.
Right.
The NBA, you have to wait for the lottery, so it is pointless. So Tyler was right. It was stupid, but they have the Knicks right now. Again, so not only are they guessing the draft order, they're guessing the team order of the drafts, the player order and everything like that. They have Obi going to the Knicks. But tonight we're going to get a better idea of what the lineup is going to look like or what the draft order is going to look like, and that'll give us a clearer picture of where Obi could end up. I don't think he's good enough to go number 1 overall, but that's no disrespect to him. I just think that it's just one of those things where it's a guard league, and I think you're going to see all those guards go ahead of Obi. It's not that those guys are that much better than Obi, but again, it's a guard-oriented league. Technically, he's a positionless basketball player, but there are set guards. I mean, we talked about that yesterday. I mean, I get it. Dame Lillard's fantastic, but you don't have to flip the channel too many times to find another great guard. And that's what teams are looking for right now. You need to score, and you need to score a lot. And it starts with the guard, and then you kind of work your way around that as far as that's concerned. So we're talking player comparisons for Obi Toppin. Who in the league today or the league in the past reminds you, does Obi Toppin remind you most of? And we're getting Dennis Rodman. Joseph Circle on Facebook messages in. He says, Dennis Rodman. That's who he looks at.
Okay.
Nothing there?
Nothing there. Not for me. I don't see that.
I mean,
you could say his motor and his energy and his athleticism, but
Joseph, I'd have to see him defensively in the NBA.
Yeah.
Not guarding whoever out of the A10. I need to see what Obi can do against legit guard talent in the NBA versus whoever he had to guard. And again, you're hiding Obi on defense in the A10. And forget the A10, just in college in general. You don't want to put
basically like a safety.
You don't want to put Obi on the best offensive player. You want to make sure he stays out of foul trouble. So we don't really. I mean, again, Obi's not a bad defensive player, but he's not their defensive shutdown guy. That's what Mike Sell and that's what Mike Sell not really, but Landers. That's what Landers was there for. He was their key defensive stopper. We'll see what Obi's defense transitions in the NBA. Maybe he is because he needs something. Like when you think of Obi in the NBA. Is it his three-point shooting ability? I think there's a difference between being a three-point shooter and being capable of hitting a three. I think Obi's capable of hitting a three. I laugh when people say he's a three-point shooter now. He improved his three game. He's not a three-point shooter.
Right.
He's capable of it. He's not a three-point shooter. Is he a ball handler? I mean, I laugh and I see the evaluations of, he has bursts of ball handling ability. Well, you need more than bursts of ball handling ability in the NBA. What is Obi going to be known for? What is going to be his role? Because he's a positionless basketball player, and I just don't know he's not a great three-point shooter. He could shoot it, but he's not great. He's a freak athlete, can dunk like crazy, but what is his role? Kenneth Faried? I mean, what's his role in the NBA as far as that?
Could you see him being a Pascal Siakam? Pascal Siakam played at where New Mexico State, was in the G League for like 2 years, and then boom, hey man, he's scoring 15 points a game, and then boom, he's the second best player on a team that wins the NBA Finals, and boom, he's the best player on their team. Yeah, and you know what I love about Obi too is 2 years ago, he was being graded as a second round draft pick, later second round, and then he goes to the combine, or not the combine, but he goes to get the official draft grade. They tell him what he needs to work on. And not only did he take that information, but he took that information and ran with it. And everything that they said he needed to improve on, he did. And that's a big sign of maturity.
Yeah. So again, right now it's tough because when I sit there and say, well, what's Obi going to be in the NBA? You're basing it off of what his game is now, which was night and day different from 2 years ago to now. He's only going to continue to get better. So he could develop into a shooter.
Right.
He could develop into a lot of different things in the NBA. Just as of right now, with what we know out of college, I'm not expecting a big splash onto the rookie scene in the NBA. Good, solid guy. I just think that he's going to have to define what his role is going to be. And no one can tell me, take your Homer UD fans off because I'm getting lit up already. I'm not attacking Obi Toppin.
Get him!
I'm trying to figure out, folks, like what is his role in the NBA as a rookie? I think he could turn into an all-star, yes, because he's already proven that he's able to take his weaknesses and work on them and get better. That's what he's going to do in the NBA. But I mean, what's his role right away in the NBA? I don't know. I think that's going to be his biggest hurdle is, okay, I'm drafted. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Cleveland. Okay, now what? Who is Obi Toppin in the NBA right now? Not who can he be? Who is he right now? That's my biggest question mark and concern. I think it's a fair one. I'm not attacking him. I'm curious what people think about that. I don't want to hear he's great. He dominated the A-10. He's going to dominate the NBA. No. It doesn't work that way. I think he's good enough to have a very good rookie year. But again, I need to know and see what his role is going to be as far as that's concerned.
Everything he did defensively with UD last year, it was kind of like the LeBron James role on defense, basically playing safe.
Roamer, yeah.
Roam the floor. You get a steal. You do what you do. You pin something against the glass. You play safety. You don't let anything behind you. You just do you. Make something happen. Cause havoc. And that's great. But in the NBA, you're definitely not going to be asked to do that as a rookie. You have to learn the principles of defense and everything like that. But based off of his athleticism and his motor and his will to learn how to play the game, as we saw the jump in skill level from last year to this year, I believe he can do it. I believe he can be a star in this league. I believe he can make an all-star game or three. So I hope the best for him, man. I hope he goes to a organization that sees what he can potentially become and help him blossom into something great, man. You just look at those teams like, we talk about Washington and we talk about, Dwayne Haskins, and everybody knew Dwayne Haskins was going to have a horrible rookie year because the organization he was going through. It's the same thing in the NBA. That's why everybody is cringing when they say Obi's headed to the Knicks. No one wants him to go to the Knicks, even though they made a great hire at head coach, even though they've changed up the GM office. It's the stench of the Knicks that people don't want him. Like, oh, man, he go there, he's ruined.
And by the way, the reason that is too, and this is why this is important, you'd have to say that Obi improving almost hurt his pro status, mainly because of this. He improved himself so much to the point where he's going to a bad situation. Kawhi Leonard got drafted late and goes to the San Antonio Spurs, where Kawhi Leonard didn't have to be a star. Kawhi Leonard got to quietly develop into a star while Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and those guys did the heavy lifting. And then, of course, that gave him time to get comfortable in his role. And boom, he blossomed into a star. Dame Lillard, same thing. Now, he didn't go to a championship team, but he had other guys that carried the load. I mean, Roy, what was his name?
Brandon Roy. Yes and no.
But he was the guy when he got there, though. So, he had time to develop into his role. Obi is going to go to a situation where again, it's a duo league. So you could say, oh, yeah, you have Trae Young. Yeah, but Trae Young, like, you're going there so Trae Young you guys could play off one another. If you go to Atlanta and Trae Young can't even get you going because there's not enough talent around you, that's a problem. But if you would have been drafted later to another team that has more of their stuff put together, like Obi, that's why the Warriors, like, not just because, it's the Warriors, it's because, it's the Warriors have their stars already. Right. So while all the attention is on Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, now the Kawhi Leonard situation reoccurs. Like Obi Toppin will be like Kawhi Leonard if he goes to the Warriors, because while Kawhi Leonard went to the Spurs and everyone was focusing on Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and everyone else, that's how Kawhi got to move up, and that's how Kawhi got to develop and kind of be under the radar. Obi's going to be the same thing if he gets drafted by the Warriors, but if he goes somewhere like the Knicks or the Cavs where he has to be the guy, that's where I'm concerned about who Obi is going to be in the NBA, because development matters and it could stunt your development and growth. And once you have the perception of you is that you can't play, it sticks with you for a bit, and it's tough to get jobs, and you float around the G League for a while. So I think it's important that he goes to a situation where he can thrive. So that's a good comparison about the Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins could have thrived in different situations, but when he went to the Washington team, of course, everyone was like, and he's in trouble. There you go. By the way, have they found him yet?
Who?
The last I heard, they were looking for Dwayne Haskins. They couldn't find. Oh, that's right. He was taking pictures with fans. I couldn't find him.
I can't stand you.
But remember, I said, you want to know why Dwayne Haskins is going to improve this year? It's because there's going to be no fans to distract him at the games.
Nothing had to do with all this hard work in the offseason.
He's freaking chiseled, man.
Lost a ton of weight.
He's chiseled.
Shouts out to Dwayne Haskins.
So now he's going to be very average and chiseled. That's going to be how it's going to work.
Hey,
by the way, Dwayne Haskins, that's why everyone that's like Justin Fields, he doesn't need to play again. He's a lot. He had one good year, just like Dwayne Haskins had one good year. Get back out on that field. Go play for Georgia. Get to Georgia. Go play at Georgia. Go win a national championship at Georgia. Play in the conference that it just means more. You want to play in the fall? Go ball in the SEC. How about that?
You're so lucky these cameras are on. So lucky.
All right. Well, why don't we just turn the mics off and you can pull with Thom Brennaman and tell me what you really feel. How about that? We'll be back in a moment. By the way, now we do have an update on Thom Brennaman. Thom Brennaman suspended by the Reds. He also got another punishment handed down. I'll tell you what that is next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hey, you should move over. Red right return.
Right, red right return.
No, just red right return because
No, I'm saying red right return, but then right to agree.
Okay, but you're on the...
I should have said correct. I know it's red right return, but...
You're on the left and it's red right return. Red right return.
Tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive has you covered as a leader in boat insurance. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Oh, I was on the left. Right.
Please stop talking.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding the next job is a big job, and that part of what you do is a little tough right now
Because of that, Lowe's for Pros is here to help. Get $400 in leads on us with a free 1-year subscription from Home Advisor to connect to jobs that make sense for you. Sign up at lowesforpros.com/pro loyalty to get started. Just one more reason why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Now let's get to work. Subscription and $400 lead credit subject to Home Advisor's approval and terms. Valid for new Home Advisor customers only. Lowe's loyalty required. More terms apply. Valid through 9/9 US only.
It could be a routine drive to pick up the kids after school or an epic road trip across the country. No matter where your travels take you, we know those miles count. We're Marathon. We have over 5,700 stations across our great nation. Our people are working hard every day to provide you with quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance and fuel your life. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's Babbel.com.
Hi, Joey Beckett here at Buckeye Ford in Sydney, home of the Works package and the Double Take Tire specials. Call today for your appointment, 937-419-8473 or 1-800-700-0050. Buckeye Ford in Sydney, exit 92 off of I-75. We'll see you soon.
It's Danielle for CertaPro Painters. You know, I've used CertaPro Painters for pretty much everything that requires paint. And most recently, we had our entire house painted. And I mean the entire house. Gutters, shutters, windowsills, siding, and even the brick. Yes, everything. Talk about a phenomenal job. Exterior painting is the most effective way of boosting the curb appeal of your house. And our curb appeal, well, it went up to 100 plus. CertaPro Painters really are amazing. They know how to get the job done right and paint a wide variety of surfaces, including stucco, vinyl siding, aluminum, brick, shutters, doors, windows, and trim. They do interior, exterior, residential, commercial, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in your local community. You can schedule your free estimate online right now at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Check them out now and get the job done right. CertaPro Painters, proven and trusted experts in painting.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
ESPN Dayton's fan hotline, 937-210-9676. Something on your mind? Let us know. Leave a voicemail or text us your hot sports take. All takes will be heard weekday afternoons on the Justin Kinner Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Save 937-210-9676 in your phone. It's the ESPN Dayton fan hotline. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
Justin Kinner, Kevin Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. As we mentioned earlier, Notre Dame had 5 players test positive for the coronavirus, with 6 more already in quarantine. And again, this is coming off of a huge outbreak amongst the Notre Dame campus. In fact, North Carolina and Notre Dame had to basically suspend. I think it was North Carolina that had to suspend all athletic activities for 24 hours. Like, so all athletics had to be suspended or postponed, or not postponed, but suspended for the day. And North Carolina is going through it, obviously Notre Dame and others. So it's just going to continue. It's just going to continue.
It's going to be tough. Well.
What happened at NC State?
They just moved all undergraduate classes to online learning after a COVID-19 outbreak.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot of that. And maybe this is being done to I'm trying to think as to what the end game is here. I don't know if this helps or I'm thinking it's hurting the chances of the SEC and ACC moving to a season. But Kev, what if this is ultimately helping? Like, what if it's the end game of let's get students on campus? We'll show that we can't contain the outbreak, so we'll just send all the students home. And we just saw the reaction across the country that these athletes really want to play. So the urgency's there. About a month and a half ago, it was this players versus the league thing. And again, I'm not talking about the like changing the names of the racist historical leaders and stuff like that. I'm talking about the treatment of the future of the coronavirus. How are you treating us and all that stuff? How are you going to keep us safe, not just during this, but what are you doing for us after? All those things were being asked. Mm-hmm. And then they just said, okay, forget it, no football. And then all these athletes are writing letters. No, we want to play. We want to play. We'll do anything. We want to play. We want to play. I thought the Big Ten was pulling a scare tactic. That's honestly what I thought at first. I really did think there was maybe a chance that they could bring it back, but they just pulled the plug completely. And it's like, to me, it's like, okay, we keep talking about the amateurism here, but I really do see a situation where maybe all these SEC, ACC schools say, all right, we all have outbreaks. Everyone go home. Athletes, you stay. Here's your little bubble now. Let's go finish this season. Like, maybe what I think is hurting the chances is probably helping in the long run.
Until that story that you've been telling me about off air happens.
It's just Georgia State, though.
Exactly.
Georgia State quarterback, and if I butcher this name, I apologize, but butcher, Jesus, Justin, come on now. Georgia State quarterback Mikel Colasordo has been diagnosed with a heart condition that has been linked to COVID-19. He's been diagnosed with a heart condition as a result of contracting the virus and will not be able to play football this coming up season. He just announced earlier today. Now, he's a freshman and former 3-sport prospect from South Carolina. He arrived on campus earlier in the spring when he contracted it. But this is what this result of the virus. It's that microcarditis, whatever the hell it is. I'm not a doctor, as you can tell. I'm very not intelligent, so there's that. So obviously, I'm not a doctor. No, but that right there, that's what this right here is what has scared the Big Ten and the MAC and many conferences as far as that's concerned. And of course, that's what leads to Georgia State quarterback choosing not to play this coming up season.
Scary. That's all I can think about. It's scary. You send one of these young adults out here and they're willing to play after contracting COVID-19. They quarantine for 2 weeks. They no longer have the virus. They go out there and play their game. And God forbid somebody has a heart attack.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's and the sad part about the whole thing is something as unfortunate as that is the only way people will say Kevin Warren was right. We shouldn't have been playing. Nobody wants to see somebody go out there and die. Nobody. But we are still going to be attacking Kevin Warren because he's robbing Ohio State of a chance to win a national championship. But ever thought about it like this? He's actually saving somebody from possibly dying or making sure Ohio State stays open because the school doesn't get sued and get shut down completely because 85 people on the team sue the school and bankrupt the whole university. Like, you got to think about the big picture here, man. Like, it's bigger than football. This virus is killing people, and it's not just old people that are dying from this, and it's leaving people permanently scarred, as you can see with this young man from Georgia State. Like, this is a serious situation. Yes, it's a one individual, but there's multiple individuals out there that are suffering from this and having trouble getting back on the football field. Just because you're young doesn't mean you can bounce back. I look at this virus like how my mom used to talk to me and my brother. You think just because you're young, you're immune to what can actually happen in the world? You think if you don't look both ways, a car won't hit you? You think hanging out all types of night, something can't happen to you just because you're young? It can happen. It can happen to anybody, anytime, anywhere. And this virus can get somebody. It can get somebody in the long run. And that's what these conferences are trying to prevent these young adults from dying and stop themselves from being sued.
Here's where I've been in the middle on for a while now of being not really swayed one way or another. I get that. But when we talk about the health officials' opinions who are stepping in, and there's way too many different health official opinions that are weighing in on this, there are just as many, if not more, health officials weighing in and saying, hey, you know what? Yes, this is a risk, but it's a very slight risk. It's not even a risk it's something you want that you look for on the radar, but it's not something to shut an entire season down for. I mean, they're saying that this can actually come from just the regular common flu to begin with and those types of things. So this is where, although I definitely understand what you're saying, I get the frustrations of people that are saying, okay, maybe we are being a little too protective of this stuff because there are so many things that are equal to things that can hurt these student athletes, but we're only making this a priority to prevent because why? That's where I agree with some critics of how this is being handled as far as Kevin Warren is concerned. And again, that letter that had come out that detailed those, they were able to find, I think Bobby Carpenter was able to find a bunch of counter arguments.
Absolutely.
So that's why, although, yeah, you're right, but I mean, if they're worried about even one student athlete dying from this, well, there's a lot of things that they could potentially die from in other situations, whether it's heat, we've seen heat exhaustion, we've seen strokes and those types of things. So that's all. I mean, I get the frustration on both sides, which is why when we talk about this, we're going nowhere with it because it's just like the political arguments. Everyone has their own opinion on something. You're never going to convince the other person that they are wrong.
It's scary because it's scary because it's new and we don't know too much about it.
But the health officials know enough about it. Maybe not the coronavirus, but this particular thing.
Right. And I mean, something like heat exhaustion, like we kind of like, oh yeah, we saw that before. Make sure you're taking your breaks. Make sure you're drinking water. Like it's like that type of thing. It is because it's the new factor. It is because it's a new virus that we don't know all about. But that's why people are so alarmed with it. I do believe that's true. But yeah, I read the statement from the Big Ten. And you know what? Those type of statements and these interviews that he's been doing like the last day or two or whatever, it's just as much as I agree with the shutdown of football, you're not doing yourself any favors, bro. Like plain and simple. Like
it's like Thom Brennaman last night. Stop talking.
That statement was trash. The interview was trash. The quotes he got with Heather Dinich, trash. It's just like, man, I'm with you. Shut it down, but stop talking because more you talk, you're just giving everybody more ammunition because you're not even answering any questions, to be perfectly honest. You're just hemming and hawing, man. So, hey, stop talking, man. Just wait it on out.
Well, I'm excited for tomorrow's show because tomorrow's show, we're going to get to hear from Herm Edwards, Arizona State coach. So we're going to talk with him tomorrow again. Coaches Arizona State, and again, he plays in the conference that pulled the plug. And I think he's going to be a perfect example of a guy to talk to kind of give the behind the scenes of, the thought of what went into that decision, not just for the Big Ten, but for the Pac-12 as well, and where he falls on it. So tomorrow, Herm Edwards will be on the show. Him and Keith Byers, former Philadelphia Eagles teammates together. In fact, Keith was sharing the story about how when he got drafted by the Eagles, Herm was the guy that, he looked up to and that he was glued to as a rookie just to, follow his lead. So Byers is going to jump in on the interview with us tomorrow with Herm Edwards. So I'm excited about that as far as that is concerned. All right. When we come back, the business side of the NFL, Cowboys released Gerald McCoy via injury waiver. And of course, that has sparked the opposite argument about the players who hold out. We'll get into that coming up around the corner. Trevor Bauer versus OBJ. Yes, Trevor Bauer versus OBJ. We'll talk about that coming up too. Hour 3 next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix. your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a language today. That's BABBEL.com.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Everyone gets a family welcome at the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Save up to 50% across the store. Shop for him, her, juniors, home, and more because there's something for everyone. Plus, we're giving you one of our best coupons for even more savings. An extra 30% off in-store or online at jcp.com. On the go, pick up your order curbside. We're sharing the love. So come in this Thursday to Sunday. JCPenney. Offer valid 8/20 to 8/23. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
School goes on.
And Staples has everything you need to start the year right.
From notebooks to sanitizer, laptops to masks.
And all at amazing prices. This week, select one subject notebooks and Staples 2-pocket paper folders are just 10 cents each.
Select notebooks and folders for a dime. That really is amazing.
Plus, you can shop in-store or pick up curbside. School on, save on at Staples.
Ends 8/22. In-store only. Limit 6. While supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens, and all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
August 28th, week 1 of the high school football season. How about that? And we're waiting to announce this, but again, we will be carrying high school football on 1410 ESPN Radio once again. It'll be our 2020 GWAC game of the week, and we will, of course, kick things off with Centerville at Fairmont coming up a week from tomorrow. So I can't believe that beginning next week, Kev, we're already going to be building up towards the first high school football game of the season. And I'm not going to lie, I was dead wrong. I was adamant a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months ago. There's no way they're playing high school football. But yet here we are. here we are, and I'm excited for it. Like I said, this is like one of those where every time I predict that something's not going to happen, you're going to get paid. For everyone that's doing I thought you said this. Okay, I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, and I'm glad that there's high school football. I'm glad that we're going to be calling the games coming up. Me and Keith Byers every Friday night. It's our GWAT game of the week on 1410 ESPN Radio. We kick things off. And week 1 next week, Centerville at Fairmont. Scott Campbell, he says, go Birds. So there's that right off the bat. Again, we're excited to be bringing you high school football once again, something I did not think we were going to be able to do this year, or mainly because I didn't think there'd be high school football, but we are glad that we're going to have that for you. Centerville at Fairmont week 1, Springfield at Centerville week 2. Centerville, out of Centerville, but we had to, we truncated it down to a close proximity here. But Wayne at Centerville, Miamisburg at Fairmont, and Fairmont at Wayne, and then Centerville versus Miamisburg in week 6. So that'll be a flex week too, depending on what the big games are that week. So I'm excited for that. Again, next week get to hear the band playing, the teams out on the field. I mean, high school football, I'm ready to go. What are you doing over there? What was that?
The band.
Yeah. Oh, is that the band? Oh, okay.
That wasn't Stonehands. This is Stonehands.
Yeah, is what it is. Speaking of Stonehands. All right, let me find this little article here because it really drove me insane last night watching Trevor Bauer, who, by the way, is just a really good pitcher. And I think that he is pitching his way out of Cincinnati. Trevor Bauer is pitching his way out of Cincinnati. Not because he gets on my nerves. It's because the way he has been pitching, Kev, the Reds can't afford to keep him. That dude right now, I mean, again, we're right. How many games of the season? I guess we're only 22 games into the season. If you're the Cincinnati Reds, still have under 40 games to go. Playoffs potentially for the Reds. I mean, that is a realistic possibility. But Trevor Bauer, who the Reds went all in for last year's trade deadline to acquire him, Trevor Bauer has been adamant that he will not sign a long-term deal. It's going to be more year to year, so he could be in control of the money, which, again, if the Reds feel like next year they have a shot to potentially be World Series contenders, it wouldn't surprise me if they went all in on a high dollar amount to keep Trevor Bauer. But Trevor Bauer is absolutely dominating right now. Oh boy, hold on, I gotta pull this up. Doug Morgan says, "Hey Kenner, has anyone ever told you that you look like a well-fed Adam Sandler with that goatee?" No.
Wedding singer.
No, I gotta get
Happy Madison.
It's nothing but love, buddy, as far as that goes. No, but thank you for that. Trevor Bauer, I think, is pitching his way out of Cincinnati. He has been absolutely on it. And again, when the Reds acquired him from the Indians last year, he was not on it. I mean, he had an ERA that was over 6. I mean, he only won 4 games with the Reds in the back half of last year. Trevor Bauer was not good for the Reds last year. So, I really didn't know what to expect as far as that was concerned from Trevor Bauer coming into this year. And he has lived up to the billing. He has lived up to all the expectations. He's healthy and he is rolling. And right now, every time he has an outing like he did last night, Kev, he has an ERA under 1 right now. He is basically just positioning himself to get paid this coming up off season. Now, the only way I can kind of be positive about this is the fact that maybe the market will work in the Reds' favor. Maybe teams aren't willing to go all in for a big contract for any player, although yet that has not been really the case. We've seen some big contracts in baseball and football and others. Maybe that'll go for the Reds. I don't see the Reds being able to afford Trevor Bauer if he is looking for a long-term deal. The best shot the Reds have at keeping him is if they're willing to overspend, even if it is for 1 year, if they feel like next year they can make a run at a World Series.
He's a pain in the butt. He's a problem child, but when he's on, he's on. Mm-hmm. And me being a Cleveland Indians fan, I know that firsthand. Would you be willing to put up with it?
As long as he keeps pitching like this.
But that's the thing. You don't know.
Obviously, but you don't know. And again, right now we're talking about the start to the season, but who knows what happens, moving forward. And by the way, let's say the Reds do get into the playoffs. If he absolutely dominates in the regular season, but they get in the playoffs and he lays an egg, it's like, okay, are we dealing with one of those great regular season pitching performances and bad again? But he's pitched in a World Series. We know what he's capable of doing in the playoffs, but that's something to keep in mind if you're the Cincinnati Reds. But last night, my biggest problem with Trevor Bauer is, and I see his point to a degree, he is trying to be everything that baseball isn't, and he's trying to be fun. He does a podcast on the side. He has his own brand. Okay, he has his own T-shirt line. He puts out his own, he has his own apparel line. He does all that. That's great. But I feel like when he says he's trying to be everything that baseball isn't, not only is he trying to be everything that baseball isn't, he is being what usually sports is not supposed to be. We rip athletes if they are in if they're in too many commercials. We rip athletes if they, heaven forbid, try to wear a watch out onto the football field. If they do, anytime an athlete does anything that is not related to the sport that they are playing, we say, oh, they're more focused on this than that. Except for Trevor Bauer. For whatever reason, Reds fans just literally overlook it all. You had a great game last night, and then you started ripping your shirt off like you're Hulk Hogan or something. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, he's mad because the league threatened to rip him off the field because he was wearing cleats that had a message on them that were the guy from the Dodgers that, of course, is going after the vendetta he has against he hates the Astros. That's great. That's super. Just focus on winning games, which you're doing. And I think the reason he's getting away with it is because he's winning. To be fair, when Baker Mayfield gets ripped, it's because, hey, you know what? You were in a ton of commercials. You're shirtless, taking a picture with the tiger next to a Corvette or whatever it was, and then you play like a bum the next year. OBJ, who did play in every game, is trying to wear watches and be the flashy, flamboyant guy that he is, but he had a down year. So then maybe he's getting ripped for that. But I truly believe that if OBJ even had the best numbers in football last year as far as the receiver goes, he would still be getting ripped for trying to wear the watch by people like you and everyone else. So my question is, in 457-9464, or head to Facebook and leave your comments in the comment section. Search the Justin Kinner Show and chime in beneath, and we'll hear your take. Why is it that we applaud Trevor Bauer? Why do we drool over Trevor Bauer acting like a moron? I can't stand Trevor Bauer ripping his shirt off after a win, trying to wear these stupid cleats that are a complete distraction from just going out there and playing the game. And again, he's pitching great. That's fine. But folks, there's going to be a point where he starts to take a dip off. All right, that's the concern I have as far as this goes. And I don't make these rules, by the way. You do. Everyone else does. Athletes are not allowed to have fun. They're not allowed to have podcasts. They're not allowed to have their own, shirt lines and all this stuff where they're more worried about their own brand than, what's actually going on. Those aren't my rules. I'm basing this opinion off you, the viewers, and you behind the camera, Kev. I'm basing it on you. I'm playing by your rules now. Why is this guy allowed to do all this stuff and everyone just drools over it and loves it? But it's the first thing that people hate about OBJ. And I think OBJ is way more marketable. He's way more liked, and he plays in a sport where people actually care who you are. So that's the other thing I have a problem with as far as that goes.
Okay, so I'll start with Baker Mayfield. One, I never ragged on Baker Mayfield for all the Progressive insurance commercials because, one, I know he taped all those in the offseason. Two, get your money, Baker Mayfield, by all means. OBJ, on the other hand, the watch thing, it is a distraction.
No.
Yes, it is, because it's against the uniform policy of the NFL, and don't act like he doesn't know that going into it.
Actually, he showed proof that they had approved that watch during the preseason. They had approved it during the preseason. Then when they broke it out, they tried to act like they could, which in fairness to Trevor Bauer also said the same thing. Major League Baseball approved having messages on the cleats. And then they tried last night to say, if you even step foot out on the field with those cleats, you will be pulled off the field. You will be escorted off the field. So MLB pulled the same thing that the NFL did, where they approved it and said, yes, you could do these things. And then when they went to go do them, they tried to play hardball with them. So I get what you're saying, but last night was the same scenario where the league's approving something in the offseason or early on, and then they forget about it, and then they want to play hardball and try to implement it. It's very strange.
Now, I personally think that the cleat rule is dumb in Major League Baseball and in the NFL. The NBA, I want to say last year, they changed their rule about sneakers. Like before, you could only wear white sneakers or black sneakers. Now you can wear whatever you want because it's sneakers, and it only brings more attention to your game. The whole OBJ thing, where the distraction came when he had on a pair of shoes in warm-ups, and then he tried to wear those shoes in the game, and then he had to go into the locker room during the game to change his shoes to something that was uniform policy. And the reason why it's stupid in the NFL is because they have a certain week where, my cleats, my message, where they're allowed to do that, which is, it's a great cause, but if you allow it that week, you should just allow it 365 throughout the whole season. So my gripe necessarily isn't with OBJ with that. I'll let him slide with that.
Oh, thank goodness you're going to let him slide.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Woo!
But it's a dumb rule on the NFL. My whole thing about OBJ is he just ain't as good as everybody think. Okay. He just ain't as good as everybody think. And
he is.
The Bauer thing, he's a pain in the tuchus. He's a pain in the butt. And this is what you get with him. You're going to get great pitching performances, and you're going to get these outbursts, and you're going to get these antics that he's going to do. And him having a podcast, I'm cool with. The shoe thing, I mean, I'm all about self-expression. But the Hulk Hogan thing, I love it. I loved it. Like, that brings attention to the game. Like, he is right about that. It is bringing in fans that don't normally watch it. It is bringing in people. Like, my grandmother texts me like,
you want to watch a guy rip his shirt off, go to Chippendales or something. You don't need to. I mean,
maybe that's why my grandma texts me.
I'm tuning into Major League Baseball to watch guys rip their shirts off. How about that?
My grandmother texted me and said, "Hey, didn't that idiot used to play for the Indians?"
Yes,
yes. Is that the one that almost cut off his finger and cost us a World Series? I was like, yes, Grandma. Like, yes, that's him, Grandma. I'm glad he don't play for us no more. Like, yo, my grandmother barely watches baseball anymore, but she still remembers who Trevor Bauer is, and part of that is the game. Part of that is having recognizable faces. You think, all right, the best baseball player is who, in your opinion?
I mean, technically Mike Trout.
Who's more recognizable, Mike Trout or Trevor Bauer?
I still think Trout. But Trevor Bauer is not as talented as Trout from that boy. I mean, he's having a hell of a year. He's had good years. They're just not on the same level. Like, but he's put himself in that position. But again, you might know who he is, but is it? I don't know if it's bettering the sport. My problem is this: is that it was all premeditated. All right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He is spending so much time worried about. Okay, I'm going to rip this shirt off. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have these cleats. Like, he spent so much time prepping for his wardrobe than he did for the actual game. Now, again, he gets away with it because as long as he keeps pitching this way, you can do whatever. You could pop out of a damn cupcake for all I care.
It's also the same thing with the NFL guys when they score touchdowns. You think they think of those things spot right there on the spot? No, they're like, all right, on Thursday, let's come up with one if I score. All right, if I catch touchdowns, you're going to do this and we're going to do this together. And blah, blah. Like, it's all planned out. It's always all planned out. Him as a guy, I could do without. But him as a personality and bringing viewers to the game of baseball, that's what the game of baseball needs. It needs viewers. It needs people that don't regularly watch it. They're not concerned about Justin Kenner. They're concerned about Kevin, who doesn't watch anybody besides the Indians. I don't watch any baseball besides the Indians, period, point blank. Unless, all right, it's playoff time and the Yankees are on, and I'm hate watching. But regular baseball, I'm not watching. But, he's a character. And the game of baseball needs characters. You talked about it as well with the home runs back in the day. Not only were they popping long balls over the fence and everything like that, but those Sammy Sosa was a character. He was a big name. He was a big guy. He was recognizable. He was entertaining, the Sammy Hop and all that type of stuff. Like, the game needs that type of stuff.
But I agree with you. But that's the stuff within the game. He is being a child.
Era. That was like 20 years ago.
Hold on. Like, you're talking about the Sammy Hop. The Sammy Hop's coming after a damn home run. All right. The touchdown celebrations are coming after you score a touchdown. Trevor Bauer's ripping his shirt off. Yes, he pitched well, but he was going to make sure that shirt was seen one way or another, whether he pitched bad or not. Okay?
You are correct.
His shoes, like the cleats are for attention and attention only, unwarranted attention. That, okay, you don't just get to have attention just because you want to show off your cleats. I mean, who knows how you're going to go pitch that night. But, like, when you have the touchdown celebration, you put time and it's premeditated, great. But the only way you could celebrate that with that touchdown celebration is by scoring the touchdown. So right. you earn that right to score that or to celebrate that touchdown. The Sammy Hop, I love that stuff because, again, the Sammy Hop doesn't exist unless he had the ability to hit the home run, and those are the types of things that people can relate to. When we talked about Allen Iverson when he was a player, the being able to relate to Allen Iverson was in not the off the field, like the dress, the way he dressed and stuff too, being able to relate to a whole different audience compared to what the old NBA used to be. But you would relate to Allen Iverson for his play on the floor, diving for loose ball. He was a little guy, but he was all over the place. The marketability of players isn't based on their shoe. Like, MJ didn't all of a sudden start selling shoes because people liked how they looked. They started wearing the shoes because they were looking at a guy that they wanted to be like on the floor. It's all about what you do on the field and on the floor that is going to be your marketability. And Trevor Bauer ripping off your shirt for no damn like, again, what did that accomplish last night? Nothing. Sammy Hop comes within scoring, or hitting a home run. Celebrating your touchdowns comes from scoring a touchdown. When you're doing all these things in basketball, the only way you could do that, not by airballing a free throw or missing a layup. So, like all the stuff that's marketable within games usually comes after you do something good. That's what people want to be. Trevor Bauer is all about himself. That's what drives me nuts about Trevor Bauer. But like I said, and you even touched, keep pitching this way, and I don't care what you do. What you do, just keep pitching. But Trevor Bauer's going to do this whether he's pitching well or not.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the 1%.
I can't defend Baker Mayfield when he's in all those commercials and stuff when he plays bad because, it's easy to sit there and say, oh, look, he's distracted. Maybe he was. It's
not distracted.
And by the way, I totally agree with you. I mean, Saquon Barkley, you know how many rookies are in commercials? All right. Everyone's in commercials. So I don't want to hear that Baker Mayfield in commercials was the problem. It's just because people hate Baker Mayfield. That's the problem.
The NBA guys are doing commercials from the bubble on their phones. They do commercials because they're part of their endorsements, and obviously they get more money. I got no problem with these guys doing tons of commercials. You are right with the Bauer thing. It is all self-promotion, and it's not just self-promotion for the money. It's self-promotion for look at me. And I think that's what rubs people the wrong way. But it's like you said, if he's pitching like this, what can you do? But the thing about it, me knowing him, from being an Indians fan, it's going to come down.
Yeah,
and
I mean, you talk about the World Series,
it's going to crash.
Like the drone.
Oh, God.
Like the drone.
Nubby.
Like the drone in the World Series.
They was calling him Nubby in Cleveland.
And he got mad that Trevor Bauer, of course, is injured in a World Series game because he was screwing around doing stuff he shouldn't have. And then instead of owning up to it and saying, yeah, my bad, it was, who the hell are you to tell me that I did anything wrong? It's that mentality. Scott on Facebook says, people tune into wrestling for the heels, right? Perhaps Bauer is the heel that MLB needs. MLB doesn't need it. MLB has enough people that they don't like. The Houston Astros are taking care of that. The Houston Astros, the Yankees, and all that. Trevor and Scott, the argument here is that, yes, right now Trevor Bauer is pitching really, really well. But he was also pulling a lot of this similar stuff last year when he had an ERA over 6 and when he only won 4 games in the second half of the season for the Reds last year. He was a me guy last year. He's a me guy now. And, of course, he's one of those that when everything's going well, hey, look at me, I'm great. But when things aren't going well, he throws a freaking temper tantrum and grabs the ball and throws it over the center field wall because he didn't get what he wanted. That's what I can't stand. I still can't get over that. Keep pitching well, though, Trevor. That's all I need him to do. That's all I care about. That's all I care about as far as that's concerned. All right, we'll be back in a moment. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Cowboys released a player who got injured, and everyone's screaming, saying, hey, remember that next time players are holding out to make sure they get theirs, because the teams, they always get theirs when it comes to crunch time. We'll discuss next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 82 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear, down to a low of 57. And tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 86. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
Got a project to do? Use the right equipment and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. With over 50 years experience, Arts has the best selection, delivery, and service, plus 14 Arts locations. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
Me and the boys are in Miamisburg, Ohio today at the classic Arthur Hills Design Pipestone Golf Club. Pipestone is one of the most popular courses in the Miami Valley, and it's in fantastic condition. It's a beautiful golf course. We're at the tee on the 6th hole. It's a par 5 and one of the most beautiful holes in the entire course. You need to come out to Pipestone and see it for yourself. Unfortunately for me, though, there is trouble all over this hole, and I'm in it. When I finally see the fairway, I have a downhill lie, and I'm staring at an elevated green. I'm not up to the task, though, unfortunately. 3 shots later, I'm in the cup with a double bogey 7. No reason to be upset, though. I mean, there's another beautiful and challenging golf hole ahead. You should get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Pipestone. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf
golf hole experiences with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Pipestone and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with our next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan or Kentucky or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building at the Ford Motor Company the same way we have for over a century, in the same place for the same reason. Built for America.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
The patio is open and Thirsty Thursday is in full effect at Milano's Pizza Subs and Taps. Every craft beer is just $5 a pint all day on Thirsty Thursday. Our Milano's summer menu features new subs, salad, and pizza choices too.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
We're in Greenville, Ohio today playing beautiful Turtle Creek Golf Club. This course was recently rated the 4th best public golf course in the state of Ohio. I'm standing on the tee at the 5th hole. This par 4, well, it's considered the toughest hole on the front 9, and while I can definitely see why after looking around, there are trees all around you, and you have to reach an elevated fairway with your drive, or it's impossible to even see the green. Well, I find the rough off the tee and have to punch out with my next shot. My third shot gets me up the fairway in position to reach the green. Laying 3, I finally hit a good shot and land 6 feet from the hole and putt in. Listen, I'll take a bogey on this hole absolutely any day of the week. If you are looking for great golf courses to play around the Miami Valley, you have to go play this course. Get your pals together, book a tee time, and come out and play Turtle Creek. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Turtle Creek and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
Contractors, use the right equipment for your project and rent from Arts Rental Equipment. No storage, no maintenance, no hassle. 14 Arts locations and online at artsrental.com. Work smart. Rent from Arts.
Not so long ago, lots of things made people happy.
I used to love going to the gym.
I miss saying good morning to my coworkers. Today, there are still things that can make people happy.
Oh, how pretty.
A beautiful bouquet of flowers will definitely make someone happy.
First Florist and Greenhouses can help you make someone happy. Go to firsttheflorist.com, choose a bouquet, and they'll deliver it safely. Make someone happy with First Florist and Greenhouses.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company helps you customize your home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Unlike things you paid for you didn't need, like the Vacnado 2000. A Wi-Fi connected vacuum that uploads Dust Bunny data to the cloud for real-time optimization. Whatever that means. But really, it's just a very expensive doggy chew toy. With Liberty Mutual, get customized home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Right now, savings count more than ever. So what if you could unlock extra savings on any project? With an extra 5% off all eligible purchases using the Lowe's Advantage card, you can. From an extra $6 off sanding that deck to saving another $75 on that new fridge. The extra savings make every project even better. Last year, cardholders saved over $300 million. Join them and start your next project with a Lowe's Advantage card. Subject to credit approval. Exclusions apply. See store or Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
The Reds are on the radio. Cincinnati Reds baseball is finally here. There are only 60 games this season, so don't miss a second of the action.
Winker hammers one to deep right field, and that is a no-doubter.
Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We do have Reds baseball coming up later tonight. The Reds and the Cardinals, the first matchup, the first meeting between these two division foes. Coming up later tonight, 7:45 the pregame, and of course 8:15 will be the first pitch. We'll have lineups coming up for you here in about 10 minutes or so. Kevin, I saw you tweeted about this, and it got my mind rolling a little bit with it. I understand both sides of this. The Cowboys have released Gerald McCoy via injury waiver and veteran defensive lineman's contract. The Cowboys released him after he had a season-ending surgery on his ruptured right quadricep tendon on Tuesday.
Ouch.
And will save $3.25 million in 2020. Of course, talking about the Cowboys. The move does not prelude McCoy from re-signing with the Cowboys in the future, but under terms of a new contract. Now, he does get to keep his $3 million signing bonus. I see both sides to the argument of, because a lot of people out there say, remember this next time you see players holding out. But it's still not enough to make me sway to that way yet, mainly because you always say this, you are what you negotiate. You negotiated this. So I don't feel bad for him and not a lot of contracts have that in there for one. That's what's weird.
He got a good one. He got a good agent.
So that's what's strange is that he got to keep that signing bonus. But on the same time, I don't get what people are so fired up about, mainly because, okay, I always look at our advantage. If we can't come to, again, we have different insurances and stuff that allow us, if we have to be out for a little bit of time or a long time, what have you. That's basically what this is. But if you're having a season-ending surgery and you only were signed for a one-year deal anyways, you're not going to be working. Like you will not be doing anything for the team. So you got to, you basically got a free $3 million, and they're making the Cowboys have to be the villains, but they're letting him continue to do all his rehab. They're paying, all the rehab's covered, and all the rehab will be done at Cowboys Stadium with their facilities, with their everything. So I got why at first the optics showed that, oh man, the Cowboys are that's the dirty side of the business. But I'm reading this, I'm like, this actually isn't dirty at all. You got to keep your $3 million signing bonus. He gets to remain working out at the Cowboys Stadium. All his, surgery, everything's covered medically as far as that's concerned. And the Cowboys will, make sure that he's back to being healthy. And if they can get him back to healthy, they'll restructure a new deal. So I don't know why so many people are angry about this. I get the optics of it, but when you really look into it, it was actually a pretty good deal for both sides. It helped the Cowboys free up a little bit more money to go address what they need to fill that position, but it also covered all of his bills as far as medically, the surgery, everything in his rehab. And he got to keep that nice little $3 million signing, or $3 million signing bonus.
I'd be like, what?
That's called retirement bonus. That's called I'm out.
Yeah, that's like,
I think I said $300 million a few times because someone just said $300 million question. So I said that a few times. I probably $3 million signing bonus. If you ever get a $300 million signing bonus, that's called retirement.
Yeah, you don't need to play. Forget that Super Bowl.
I'll have a lot of season-ending surgeries at that point if I get that. But
no, I think Gerald McCoy has a great agent. apparently, because a lot of those times when guys get cut, when they're injured and everything like that, they don't make out like bandits like he did. I won't say he made out like a bandit. He made out damn good because he's still injured and he's going to have to rehab. But a lot of guys don't get that luxury of keeping that signing bonus money. Sometimes they have to be prorated and have to give some of that money back. And sometimes you're just left out to dry to rehab on your own and on your own dime and everything like that. So Gerald McCoy's situation is definitely unique. But the thing about it is, in my tweet that I sent out, the Cowboys made a business decision, to make sure their numbers are right. And so they could fill a roster need and potentially try to win the Super Bowl. They're doing a business decision. So when athletes do a business decision, we can't act like they're not doing the same thing that the teams
but
are
who
doing.
says we as fans? But the thing is,
it
we
happens
as fans
all the time.
But we as fans are in charge of what we think, not the teams. Like I love when people say the fans need to make sure that they're thinking that no, because the fans are why you exist. The fans are why your sports exist. So if like for baseball, and that, by the way, you are completely right. There is a business side for the players, but just because that is their business side, it doesn't mean that it has to be aesthetic. It's not as that is their business side, but it is not aesthetically pleasing at all. For instance, the Major League Baseball players. They were not wrong for trying to fight for every dollar that they can get during these negotiations. They were not wrong whatsoever, but they were wrong because the optics and the perception, it just doesn't look good. And the players never look good when they're bartering for money because your fans are not millionaires like you. So you are completely right. But the thing is, that's never going to change. Fans will never, as a group, wake up one day and say, oh, good, I'm cheering for the business side of sports. No, I want my best players out on the field because we got to win. We got to win tomorrow. Or what's that show? Yeah, we got to win tomorrow. But no, you know what I mean? Like, so I get you are every time people talk about the business side, they are never wrong as far as that goes. But the fans aren't wrong either. You're asking people that on average make anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000 a year to sit there and feel bad for guys who are holding out and keeping their teams from winning because they want $3 million instead of $2 million or something like that. That's why it'll never change. And I don't think fans are wrong for thinking that either because we're watching people argue over, I don't want $10 million. I want $12 million. Oh, poor baby. So again, I get what you're saying. They are right. If we were in that position, we'd be fighting for every dollar too. But again, it is the optics of it. And again, the people that are getting angry about how it looks are the people that feed the sport. Whether it's through ratings, whether it's through clicks on social media websites, or whether it's through tickets, jerseys, everything else. So I see both sides.
I never understood that because, we're employees. You and I, we're employees of a company. People, the fans, they're employees of wherever they work. The athletes are employees of the team. So why wouldn't you be on the side of the employee? Just like you. They're an employee just like you. The person, if Jerry Jones can pay Zeke X amount of dollars, Dak X amount of dollars, Amari Cooper X amount of dollars, how much money is he raking in? Because everybody always look at the athlete and say, oh, you're complaining. You already get paid $5 million a year and you want $8 million. Well, how much is Jerry Jones making off his TV deal, off the merchandise? He's making bank as well. I don't understand how come the athletes are always the one viewed as spoiled brats because they want money. How, Sway? When they're employees just like everybody else.
Again, they're not the same type of employees, though.
But they're employees nonetheless.
If you want to simplify it, but again, that's not how fans see it.
I'm just saying,
we can't sit there and say that the fans are wrong. The fans are never the customer is always right. In one way or another, the customer is always right, and the vast majority of customers view pro athletes as brats and spoiled because. And here's the other thing too: the timing of it. No one gets mad at contract negotiations in the offseason. What people get mad at is the holdouts. Oh man, the Cowboys are supposed to have a good year this year, and Zeke's going to hold out and not play. Now they're not going to be good. Oh, that's a problem. What was the most recent big contract we're about to see it right now. I think the Vikings.
Yeah,
Dalvin Cook.
He's in camp right now.
But
dummy, he should be at home with his feet up waiting.
It's boiling. I read a report today that they were, by showing signs of good faith by reporting to camp, they were hoping that would lead. In fact, if anything, it's made it worse because now they don't even acknowledge his existence, that he's there trying to stay out of the way. So again, You're right. It looks bad on the business side too, but we don't pay attention to those optics. Business owners might pay attention to that, but we as normal, regular people, we just want to see our team win. We don't look at that. But no one looks
we're
at
not wearing Jerry Jones suits. We're wearing Zeke jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
We're rooting for Zeke to score touchdowns. We're not rooting for Jerry Jones to sign checks. That's the difference. But at the end of the day, when you break everything down, they're employees just like everybody else.
Yeah, but no one looks at it. No one
but I'm
cares.
just saying.
They are. You're right, but no one cares.
The optics. Like, you're rooting for you. People complain about their bosses and the company that they work for, and they're not getting paid X amount of dollars because they should be getting paid more and they're worth more. Well, that's exactly what these athletes are doing. But you don't see them as employees. They don't see them as employees. They just see them as athletes and entertainment. No, they're doing a job. They're providing a service. They're providing your entertainment, and they're being rewarded handsomely. But you know who also is getting rewarded handsomely? The owners of the teams. Mm-hmm. If they can pay all this money to the,
but they're owners of the team, they should be making that much money.
Yeah,
they should be making that much money.
But you wouldn't say that to an employee that you work with. Like, if I was complaining about how much I was making, you wouldn't be like, well, Kev, it is what it is, man. You're an employee. Suck it up. You wouldn't say that. You'd be like, you know what, Kev, you're right. You know, we should, hey, man, you know what? You make it what? Oh, yeah, we both getting the shaft.
Yeah, but the difference is
our bosses are listening.
No, the difference is again, it's. I know what you're saying, but it's not the same because fans don't. No, it's not, because no fan wakes up saying, "Oh man, I can't wait to see my favorite football employee today." It's football player, and they are fans of watching them play. They don't care about how they. And by the way,
no, I'm not saying that's how. I know that's exactly how people are, but I'm saying this is what it is. That in reality, they're employees, just like everybody else.
That's super, but that's not. It doesn't matter because that's not how people perceive it. People don't care. They'll never care, and they shouldn't, because all they care about is the team winning. And if the team's not winning, they're not a fan of that team. And if they're not a fan of that team, then no one's watching that team. No one's going to watch that team. No one's buying their apparel. Then that owner doesn't even have the stuff to be able to.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Huh?
Yeah, they do.
Well, I'm just saying, but again, they have to be able to keep the customers happy too. And the only thing that matters is the customers, which is why they use the customers against the players. They use the perception of the customers, the viewers, against the player. That's what that's what Major League Baseball did. They tried they made the players look bad because they know fans don't want to hear the pity story of, even though they're employees and we battle the same things in our everyday life, we're arguing over, can we please I would like to have a couple $1 raise so I can maybe have $20 more. That's so stupid. I just want $1 raise. So why? You could have $10 more in your freaking paycheck. That's stupid. Now we stress over, if I could just get $2 more raise, I could maybe have $20 extra in my paycheck. Man, my life is hard. Oh, look, there's Zeke. Oh, he wants $15 million and not 13. Oh man, I can relate to that, man. You hate me, I know, but it's okay, because we'll be back to argue to close out the show when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys.
Me and the guys are back at Meadowbrook Golf Club in Clayton, Ohio. Meadowbrook is now open to the public, and what a value. It's rated one of the top 25 golf courses in Ohio. Today we're at the par 4 number 6, one of the narrowest fairways on the course. My drive hooks left at the end, but the trees open up, so I'm safe there. I have to lay up so I can have a shot at the green. The worst thing on this hole is to go over the green because you may never come back. Today, my irons are hot. My third shot ends up 8 feet from the hole, and I sink my putt for a par. Wow, that is what keeps me coming back. If you love to play golf, you need to get your pals together and play this course. Stay tuned. Me and the Buy Golf for Half Bogey Boys will be back soon with another Fantastic Four golf hole experience. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Meadowbrook at Clayton and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Here's a question for you. Which Miami Valley golf course was voted the #1 golf course in the Dayton area? It's Turtle Creek Golf Course. Another question. Which golf course was rated the #4 best public golf course in the state of Ohio? That's right, Turtle Creek. And which course was rated the 18th best in the USA with green fees under $50? Right again, it's Turtle Creek. Here's my last question. When are you going to get your pals together to come out to Turtle Creek Golf Course and play? We're an easy drive to Greenville. See you soon at Turtle Creek.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Redbox has top entertainment with new movies and big hits. And now they're giving you a chance to win big money. Enter the Redbox 15K Summer Sweepstakes. Rent or buy any Sony movie now through August 24th, and you could win the $15,000 grand prize. Rent Jumanji: The Next Level, Little Women, Bad Boys for Life, and other Sony movies at redbox.com/15K sweeps. Make it a movie night, and you could win big with Redbox. No purchase necessary. Must be at least 18 years old and a U.S. resident. For official rules and to learn more, including how to enter for free via email, visit redbox.com/15K sweeps. Hey, it's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Welcome to another Fantastic Four golf hole experience with the By Golfer Half Bogey Boys.
Me and the boys are in Springfield, Ohio today. We're playing Windy Knoll, an extremely well-maintained course known as Central Ohio's premier link-style golf course. We're getting ready to tee off at the 9th hole. It's a par 5 and the longest hole on the course. They say you can get on the green in 2 with the wind at your back, but I'll feel good if I could just stay in the fairway and avoid the dangerous mounds on my right. I'm off the tee in good shape, but my second shot drifts left toward the water. I land short, and it takes 2 shots for me to get up in front of the green. This is a big green, and I need 3 putts to get in for a double bogey. Not my best hole, but definitely one of my favorite golf courses. If you're looking for a unique and truly enjoyable golf experience, you have to come out and play Windy Knoll. Stay tuned for more Fantastic Four golf hole experiences with the By Golf for Half Bogey Boys. See you at the next hole.
Visit buygolfforhalf.com for half-price golf packages from Windy Knoll and other great local golf courses around the Miami Valley.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
Goodyear knows why we all love basketball. It's the sound of the buzzer, the roar of the crowd, the swish of the net. It's the spin on the ball as it's released, the squeaking sneakers before an inbound pass, the timeout that gives us perspective on the moment. We love basketball because we love movement. And now that it's back, we're asking you, the fans, what moves you? Goodyear, more driven.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Hi. Guess we should talk about something. How's the vermicelli game in your town? Got any good Vietnamese restaurants? Vermicelli? Oh, it's a noodle. Very good. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
School goes on. Staples has everything to start the year right, no matter where school happens, and all at amazing prices. School on, save on at Staples.
The biggest local and national guests sit down for the biggest interviews with Justin Kinner on 1410 Wing Live, presented by Arrowhead Tax Service. Follow along live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page and catch all previous episodes at wingam.com.
Busy show today. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and took some time to hang out with us on Facebook. We are live on Facebook every day. Head to Facebook and search the Justin Kinner Show or ESPN Dayton and like the show page, like the station page. And every day at 3 o'clock, you'll get that notification to tune into the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash and hang out with us. And, of course, you can chime in on the conversation in the comments section, and we'll be able to pull your comments into the show and interact with you that way. Of course, you can always call at 457-9464. We announced today we will be carrying high school football once again. Fairmont Centerville is what we'll be opening up with a week from tomorrow. We're excited about that. High school football officially here, and we're excited to be bringing you another season right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Keith Byers and myself will be on the call for the 6-game regular season here coming up. All right, that does it for us. To make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, Herm Edwards, Arizona State head football coach. He's going to join us to talk about what his reaction was like when he first heard that they were going to postpone the Pac-12 fall season. And we'll see if the Pac-12 fans are as big a crybabies as the Big Ten fans. I'm tired of hearing that. I mean, again, it means more in the Big Ten than the Pac-12, maybe, but it doesn't mean more than the SEC. Herm Edwards on tomorrow's show. Can't wait for that. Lakers win tonight.
I agree.
LeBron had the more impressive game.
Disagree.
The other night, he had a triple-double on the night. Again, I'm not going to – no, you know what I'm doing. He had a triple-double, which is great. That's fantastic. But 23 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists.
2 missed free throws.
He had 16 assists on the night that his team only hit 35 shots. He assisted on 16 or 34. 16 of the 34 shots he assisted on. I mean, he was literally not only was getting his buckets, he was making sure everyone else got theirs on nights that they couldn't. Like, that's a leader all over the place, not just a scorer. Hey, anyone can score in the NBA. How about that? Take a look at tonight's lineup. Reds and Cardinals. 8:15 tonight, 7:45 the pregame. Reds at Cardinals. Joey Votto, Nick Castellanos, Jesse Winker. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, and 6 is Eugenio Suarez, Mike Moustakas, and Shogo Akiyama. 7, 8, and 9, Josh Van Meter, Freddie Galvis, Tucker Barnhart. Reds baseball tonight, 7:45 the pregame, 8:15 the first pitch. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Until tomorrow, it's been the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Meadowbrook at Clayton Golf Course is open for play. As of May 1st, you can play at Meadowbrook during normal golfing hours every day. With respect to social distancing and COVID-19, Meadowbrook has listed some restrictions on our website. Please check them before playing. We are also offering discounted spring rates. And if you're interested in an annual pass, we've